everybody. Recording live from
Totem pole, 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 totem pole.
We are live.
Let's go.
Friday football night. Woo.
The NFL is back. The NFL, celebrities and their favorite NFL teams, an NFL comparison. Coach Lambeau, Coach Bald in the house. The New England Patriots, Tom Brady, the GOAT. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who's your Coach Bald? That's the creamsicle Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey.
John Lynch, owner of the San Francisco 49ers, possibly the team to beat in the NFC. Brock Purdy, baby. Brock Purdy. They will go as far as his arm is going to take them. Lambeau, what is good, my man? Good to see you, sir.
Lambeau's got some bad storms in the area, man. Look at these celebrities. Look at their NFL favorite teams. Steph Curry, the USA Olympic gold medalist. Lambeau is in the house. Lambeau, NFL celebrities. The NFL is back. We had the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans, Caleb Williams and C.J. Stroud last night battling it out. Totem Pole Nation, Lambeau, Coach Bald, Coach Troy Taylor, Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, the Olympics, the USA Olympic team. His favorite team, according to this list, is the Carolina Panthers. Lambeau, what can you tell me about the one and only Mr. Three-Point Clutch artist, Steph Curry of the NBA Golden State Warriors?
EA Sports, Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25, NBA 2K25, Jason Tatum on the cover. Like I said, the Olympics, Team USA, basketball, Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, the big three. The Carolina Panthers, I don't know how good they'll be this year. You know, they got Bryce Young with the number 2 overall pick a year ago. They got a new head coach in Dave Canales, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator with Baker Mayfield. EA Sports, Electronic Arts, college football, 14 or 25. I look at it from the Panthers' perspective. They got to rebuild their offensive line. Now, I know the NFC South is a very, very weak division along with the NFC East because I think the Bucs can win the division or possibly the Falcons. So when I look at this Carolina Panthers team, they got a lot of work they got to do. They traded, Brian Burns to the Giants, but they also got a couple compensation picks as well with the Giants on Hard Knocks, HBO. YouTube's the best live streaming platform in all of America. I will tell you this. The Carolina Panthers, until they get back to where they were, because the last time the Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl was in 2003.
What's up, Aiden
that was in
Brody? Welcome back. I've been studying the analytics. I've been studying the analytics of Totem Pole. 90%, Lambeau, 90% of the people that watch us are subscribed. That's the reason we have 128,000 followers, and we are the low man on the totem pole because 90 watchers are subscribed. That's loyalty. That's the loyalty that Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors has for his favorite NFL team. The NBA future Hall of Famer, the U.S. gold medalist Steph Curry has for the NFL Carolina Panthers. Lambeau, are you excited about Aiden Brody being here with us tonight?
Yes, I'm excited. Like I said, Totem Pole Nation, we are the future of content creation, faith, family, football, and the future of content creation. We believe that you be big-time live streamers, big-time YouTubers, and big-time content creators. If a member subscribes to Totem Pole Nation, we are going to help you achieve your dreams. We help others, we change lives, and we build champions. And until the Carolina Panthers rebuild the whole team, they will not make the Super Bowl for the last couple of years. The last time they made the Super Bowl was 2003 when John Fox was the head coach. They lost to the Patriots by 3 points, 32-29. And Jake Delhomme was their quarterback. Coach Ball. How do you feel about Elvis? Elvis's favorite team is the Cleveland Browns. EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25, which comes out next week, I think. Coach Ball. How do you feel about the Browns? You're mentioning a top 5 defense today in the Life Lessons podcast in Totem Pole Nation. How do you feel about those Cleveland Browns in the AFC North making the playoffs last year with 5 quarterbacks, but a top 3 defense?
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned that the NFC South was a weak division. Well, what those guys are in is completely opposite. It's a bloodbath in the AFC North. You're going to have to battle with Baltimore, who was, one bad game away from playing in the Super Bowl. Had those guys been able to get past Mahomes, who knows? Maybe they'd be Super Bowl champions. So you got a loaded up squad there. Who knows what's going to happen with the Pittsburgh Steelers? You got 2 quarterbacks. Maybe you got 0 quarterbacks. Who knows? But Cleveland, the place I love those guys is up front. They are nasty on that defensive line. And when you talk about defensive linemen, you got to talk about Myles Garrett, one of the best in the league. Had he been playing for the New York Jets, everybody would already put a gold jacket on this guy. Had he been playing for the Green Bay Packers, they would already say he's the next Reggie White. I like the Cleveland Browns, what they do. Their big piece to the puzzle, in my opinion, might be the steal of this year's fantasy football draft, and I'm talking about Nick Chubb. They will go as far as the legs, the body, the mind, and the soul of Nick Chubb. And I tell you what, I would not bet against Nick Chubb. We've seen him come back from gruesome injuries. I'm pulling for him. He always does the right thing. He was there at the University of Georgia with my main man, Isaiah Wynn. So that's what I think. I think they could definitely get back to the playoffs. Hopefully the whole Deshaun Watson thing is not the talk of the league. Hopefully it's Nick Chubb and the comeback that he makes. That's who I'm pulling for. The Cleveland Browns, Nick Chubb. Who do we got next up? What do you think about Nick Chubb coming back, Coach? Can he be the same guy or better?
I mean, Nick Chubb is great. He's tough as crap. Aiden Brody says W. Justin Medley said, oh, look, it's Grand Canyon. Then Aiden Brody says, for real. Justin Medley says, only 24 hours late for the start of NFL football. Now, Steph Curry is a Carolina Panthers fan. I would say because he is from Charlotte. Del Curry played for the Charlotte Hornets, NBA legend, Virginia Tech Hokies, Hall of Famer. What can you tell me, Coach Bald? Because 90% of the people that watch Totem Pole, 90% of Totem Polers are subscribed, and Coach Bald wins over 90% of his games in fantasy football. Coach Bald is a NFL fantasy football expert. Tell us a little bit about the roster of the Carolina Panthers, the NFL Carolina Panthers, and who do they have on their team that Totem Pole Nation needs to be looking to for their NFL fantasy team. Welcome, Crystal Ball Paul, to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Elizabeth is here. Elizabeth, this is for you.
Elizabeth is in the house.
Brady, John Lynch, Brett Favre. Did Lambeau get the menu? Or did he get the memo, not the menu? Is that a New England Patriots hoodie he has on there? That looks good. Elizabeth says,
hey, hello, hold on.
My gosh, Lambeau's alive.
You
Hi,
can't wear
everybody, Elizabeth.
you can't wear a jersey if you have no players. Continue.
The New England Patriots. Man from Seoul, we're going over celebrities and their favorite NFL teams. We started off with Steph Curry, the USA Olympic basketball star, NBA All-Star, future Hall of Famer Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors. His favorite team is the Carolina Panthers. Coach Bald is an NFL fantasy expert. Coach Bald is going to go over with us who are his picks on that Carolina Panthers roster that people need to select in their NFL Fantasy 2024 teams. So, Coach Lambo and Man from Seoul, be ready to give some picks that click for the Carolina Panthers.
Get your pens out, okay? Get your pens out, and you want to mark this, okay? When it comes to fantasy football, it's good to have receivers on teams that are going to be losing because they're going to have to pass. And I think the guy that you look for the Carolina Panthers is Deontay Johnson. You know, I think he kind of got the raw deal in Pittsburgh. He's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to be the go-to guy there for Bryce Young. I would look at him. I would look hard at him. Xavier Leggett, he's a guy they picked up in the draft. I want to say he was a first rounder, maybe the last pick in the first round. I think he was that 32nd pick. Just a big freak of an athlete. Those are going to be guys that are going to get some footballs tossed their way because I don't even know who's on their defense. Their defense is not going to be one of the top tiers, and you're going to see them having to try to score some points, and you're going to see them coming back, and you're going to see them throwing the ball. So those are the two guys, in my opinion, that you want to maybe circle and maybe find those guys late. I don't think anybody's going to be chomping at the bits to get anybody with the Carolina Panthers on their team. They're just bottom feeders. They are the worst team in the league. That's why Chicago got the pick so high, because they traded the mortgage all to get Bryce Young. Those are the only two guys I really have penciled. I wouldn't grab either running back, the tight end. None of those guys wow me at all. So those are the two gentlemen that I would check out. And I would avoid all Carolina Panthers. Write that down. Avoid Carolina Panthers. Coach Taylor, who do you have? Cleveland Browns. Now, the Cleveland Browns, I like a few of their players. We talked a little bit about Cleveland, and I told you about Nick Chubb. I love him. The big tight end there, man. He's going to make some plays from the University of Miami. I think everybody's going to be sitting there, just drooling over Kelsey. Trey McBride is getting a lot of love out of Arizona. They're another team. Arizona is a team that's going to be down. They're going to need to be scoring. But I like Amani Cooper. He had a game last season over 200 yards. Getting Jurdy. They got him, Jerry Jurdy. They got him from the Broncos. He could be a guy that stretch the defense a little bit, but I think that just factors into the tight end a little bit more as well. So they've got some good pieces to the puzzle right there in Cleveland as far as guys you want to look for. And, of course, the defense. If you're going to do some fantasy football, you want a good defense. Cleveland Browns defense was a top-tier defense last season. I mean, they had the best record in the NFC North last season. They just didn't show up in the playoffs. Yeah, who do you got? Who are we looking at next, Coach?
Well, Lambo. Hey, Lambo,
who is the Cleveland Brown fan?
Cleveland Brown fan is the one and only Elvis Presley. Lambo, from Seoul. Is there anybody from the Carolina Panthers, Lambo, or the Cleveland Browns that you – and Justin Medley says, what Patriots jersey is worth wearing? Elizabeth says, Justin Medley, only Tom Brady. I got this one for $25, the Reebok edition from eBay. Tom Brady, New England Patriots. Justin Medley said, no, thank you, Elizabeth. Lambo, is there anybody on the Carolina Panthers roster or the Cleveland Browns roster that you would say, these are guys you need to have on your NFL fantasy teams for 2024?
EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25. For the Cleveland Browns, I mean, I'd take Amari Cooper. I mean, Amari Cooper was a beast. I mean, when I look at Amari Cooper, despite, getting away from the Dallas Cowboys and, the 5th round picking overall, that doesn't really matter. Amari Cooper can still ball. The Carolina Panthers, it's not really much for me just because I hadn't seen enough of the Carolina Panthers and their roster's all new. And, if Adam Thielen is still there, he's an older wide receiver. I'm not going to take Adam Thielen, though. I'm going to take that wide receiver that they drafted out of South Carolina, big, fast, with speed, EA Sports, Electronic Arts, College Football 25. Those are my two that I would take. Also, depending on the fantasy, if you're allowed to draft defensive players as well, Myles Garrett out of the University of Texas A&M. Myles Garrett is still that dog. Myles Garrett, get some stacks. He can get that pressure. Like, I trust what Coach Bald is saying. I trust the process. EA Sports, Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25. I trust the Cleveland Browns defense. If you're telling me what teams I'd rather trust, the Carolina Panthers or the Cleveland Browns, I'm trusting the Cleveland Browns. What Kevin Stefanski has been able to do the last 4 years with Cleveland, taking them to the playoffs with Baker Mayfield. I know they had some issues, and then now taking the team to the playoffs with 5 quarterbacks and an elite defense, despite them getting blown out by the Houston Texans. I trust the process. I trust Kevin Stefanski. I will not be surprised if the Cleveland Browns, I'm not saying they're winning the division, but they have a chance. They definitely have a better chance than the Pittsburgh Steelers. The man from Seoul, what is on your mind right now?
Well, I'll concur with all. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here because again, we were talking about 2 teams, and you've covered the guys that we think they're going to effectively help our fantasy football teams. I would add though, first half of the season, the running back Cleveland Hunt, because they're gonna let our guy come along slowly. Hunt will get a bulk of the carries probably in September into October. He could pop a little bit because he's a starting running back caliber guy in the league. So Hunt, in Cleveland.
I'm not sure.
What's next?
What's
next, Coach?
I'm not sure he's still there. Ford was a guy that stepped up for him last season.
Ford, yeah. Was it Jerome Ford? Jerome Ford,
Jerome Ford. Yeah, he was a guy that kind of came out of nowhere. Really.
Where the hell is Hunt?
Yeah,
he went somewhere. He went somewhere. I can't remember right now. He went somewhere. He's no longer.
Matt Baker knows. Matt Baker knows. Justin Medley, real men wear black. Ma'am, Matt Baker said, timeout, timeout. Troy, you're a Redskin fan. What is going on? But my cousin gave me a good deal on a Tom Brady jersey. He said this was an authentic Tom Brady jersey. You know who my second cousin is? My second cousin sold me this jersey. He said it was authentic for $599. I thought this was a great deal for an authentic jersey because I've been looking for a Tom Brady jersey to go with my goat head. So my cousin sold me this jersey. Matt Baker, can you authenticate this? Was this worth $599 that my second cousin sold it to me for? Justin Medley said Raider Nation. Amari says throw up. Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys. We will get to the Dallas Cowboys. Today we are talking about celebrities and their favorite NFL teams. We're talking about fantasy football. Coach Bald is an expert. He wins over 90% of his games. 90% of Totem Pole Nation is subscribed. 90% of the people that watch us, that's 128,000. Now, we're going over these celebrities. Steph Curry, a Carolina Panthers fan. Elvis Presley, a Cleveland Browns fan. Brad Pitt. Benjamin Button. Benjamin Button is a New Orleans Saints fan. I didn't even know the New Orleans Saints still had a team. Coach Bald, You are an NFL fantasy expert. You win over 90% of your games in fantasy football. NFL Edits is here. NFL Edits says Giants. NFL Edits, this is for you. Matt Baker, this is for you. Remember when we used to go around robbing people's houses for wood to make forts? Yes, I do. Corey Santana, that was for you. So Brad Pitt is a New Orleans Saints fan. Coach Ball, as the Totem Pole Nation NFL fantasy expert, who do you have for the New Orleans Saints? And any inside information you have, Coach Ball?
Well, we play the Saints twice a year. It's always a fist fight. Chris Olave, the wide receiver out of, I believe, Ohio State.
Yes, I love it.
Longest season last year. I look for him to have that as well. I look for Derek Carr to play a little bit better, his second year in the system. Alvin Kamara, he's a guy that's always going to come in there. The way they do their running game was kind of off and on last season. Taysom Hill, man, he's always a guy that they always slot him at the tight end, but sometimes he lines up at wide receiver. Sometimes he lines up, at running back. That's a guy that can get you some sneaky points. Say on a week that your tight end has a bye, it'd be a great time to pick up Taysom Hill. But besides that, I'm not really a big fan of the defense or anything else they really have. I don't see anybody that stands out, but the one I do the most is Chris Olave, the wide receiver there from the Buckeyes, I believe. Had a good season last year. I think another season with Carr. He will continue to have success. I think it's a two-team division, and I believe it's Tampa and it's going to be Atlanta, barring some injuries. And I think Tampa's going to be the elite team in that division. Atlanta, I think they're going to take a while to hit their strides with Cousins. First opportunity as the quarterback there. He hasn't practiced with all those guys. He's coming off from blown Achilles, I believe. That's a tough injury to come back from. And, I look for the Bucs to run away with that division. But talk about fantasy football players. That's a player that I would look for, third or fourth round receivers. You need good receivers if you want to score some points. Everybody wants to jump on the top tier guys. This guy's only 24 years old, man, and he can hit the deep ball. So should see a lot of explosive plays by him. That's my 2 cents on the Saints, man. Yep.
I was going to say you pass it to Lambeau, and Lambeau passes it to Paul, but Lambeau is out, so you pass it to Paul.
Yeah, Paul, what is your insight? I know you focus a lot on that NFC. Your Packers there. Love that Brett Favre jersey, by the way, my man. Loving it.
That was great insight, Coach Bald, on the Saints. And I say that because, man, there's not a lot of talk coming out of New Orleans. Like, people don't – it's not the team that people talk about. And you mentioned guys, and I'm sitting here shaking my head because I'm like, dude, why aren't they competitive? God, they got enough, man. There's guys on their team a lot of other teams would love to have, but I just can't. And again, I respect Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator and to cover down on his side of the ball. But you got enough guys on offense to make some noise. But they're just like they are like an NFL Siberia right now. Like no one even talks about the Saints like they used to. And I mean, and Carr he's not Brady, but damn, he's respectable, man. I mean, I don't know what's the dysfunction there, but I totally agree with you. And again, it goes back to, and I like how you've targeted teams that are going to be down in games. They're going to get some, backdoor covers and backdoor yardage on yak to the receivers. That's genius. That's the way to go. But you got to find those little nuggets, especially you got a guy like Carr, who can run an offense and run a team that's down in a game and get you some trash yards at receiver to Olave. You know what I'm saying? So I like where you're going there, but yeah, I mean, there's not much there. I mean, Kamara, man. I mean, got some. Taysom Hill's still there. Something's just funny about that place right now. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know another guy, Rashid Haheed or something that they have there. He's a big play guy that can give you some. Rashid Shaheed is his name. He's a big receiver also, but, maybe there are some guys there you target because they're going to be down in some games. They're probably going to be in more games.
We got us a lot of comments. Knockout says Raiders suck, Cowboys suck, Giants suck. Jay Nasty said Jets, the New York Jets. So that's the Las Vegas Raiders, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants. Knockout says is awful. Knockout, Jay Nasty are new. This is for y'all. We love you. Welcome to Totem Pole Nation. Coach Shea Freeman. Coach Bald has representing that creamsicle. John Lynch, 47. Justin Medley said because of Carr, straight trash like his brother. Is Lambeau still on here, or did the Storm get Lambeau? I think Lambeau is back. Lambeau, what do you think about the New Orleans Saints? Is there anybody on the New Orleans Saints that these NFL fantasy people need to be picking? 90% of Totem Pole Nation is subscribed. We have 128,000 followers, and if you watch us, 90% are subscribed. Lambeau, New Orleans Saints, what do you think?
EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25, Mercedes-Benz Superdome, former head coach Sean Payton, Drew Brees. You can go back to that Super Bowl team in 2009. Now, they're not the same team. Dennis Allen, a longtime defensive coordinator, is not the head coach. Look, he's on a hot seat. Their defense is legit, but their offense is not good enough, right? I don't feel like Derek Carr fit that system. They fired Pete Carmichael last year. Their new offensive coordinator is Clint Kubiak. That is their new OC. Michael Thomas was at one point one of the best wide receivers in the NFL back then before he, broke his toe or broke his foot or whatever. But I'm not sure for the Saints. When I look at fantasy players, maybe you could talk about a Chris Olave. Maybe you could talk about Alvin Kamara. Those are the two I agree with Coach Ball. Cam Jordan, I know he's a lot older, but Cam Jordan can still, play. I'm not saying he's a J.J. Watt or Aaron Donald, but I'm not confident in the Saints, especially in the NFC South, because it all comes down to quarterback play. And look, Derek Carr, I think Derek Carr was better with the Raiders than he is with the Saints, just because, he got a lot of passion for the game, a lot of heart and soul. I'm not denying that. I just don't think the Saints is a good fit for him, especially the offense, the lack of a run game last year. How healthy can Alvin Kamara be? Is Michael Thomas going to be the same wide receiver he was before? And I know Chris Olave, but you don't want to put a lot of pressure on Chris Olave, a second, third-year receiver. You just don't want to do that. So when I look at the Saints, look, NFC South, anybody can win it. They can be third, they can be fourth, they can be second. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm not confident in the Saints, and despite how much I like Derek Carr, EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25, despite how much I like Derek Carr, his career in New Orleans is going to be coming to an end sometime soon. Because
Peter is in the house.
If Dennis Allen can't get the job done, if Dennis Allen can't get the job done, then it's over. Yeah. That's what it is. Saints will be done. They will clean house. They've been the same since Sean Payton.
Jay Nasty said, Jets. Take off that Favre jersey and put Rodgers jersey on. Jay Nasty. Now, man from Soul. Jay Nasty says, Jets. Take off that Favre jersey and put Rodgers jersey on. Now, man from Soul, would you like to let Jay Nasty know? Because Jay Nasty is new. Jay Nasty, thank you for being a part of Totem Pole. Would you like to tell Jay Nasty what is the wager you have on the Jets this year, and what belief do you have for Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, Jay Nasty. First of all, let's start with this. Number four in the Packer uniform, he served you guys well that first year under the old defensive coordinator, and you guys had a
Rex
really
Ryan.
good season. What's his name?
Rex Ryan.
No, the other guy.
Mike Holmgren or Mike McCarthy?
No, he's a Belichick guy.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that got blackballed. Mangini.
Eric Mangini. He named his son Brett after Favre, but he served the Jets well. But I'm a big Rodgers guy, and I already have Rodgers and the Jets at divisional round, hanging out with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs, and one other team I haven't mentioned yet. But those three teams will be in your AFC divisional round playoffs. Now, for Mr. Rodgers, dude, I'm on your team, Jay Nasty. We're together, man. We one love. I'm Jet too, because everyone's telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. But if the Jets beat the Patriots twice, something is green coming my way.
All around my city, bling, bling. All right, we're talking about celebrities and their favorite NFL teams and fantasy football. We're going to Michigan's own from 8 Mile, Eminem, Marshall Mathers.
Yo, whoa. What about our number one celebrity? Make Money Sports Bets.
We need to hit him up. The Detroit Lions have been trending on YouTube. Dan Campbell has been trending. Panay Sewell has been trending. The Detroit Lions are a hot football team. Eminem, the death of Marshall Mathers, is a hot football team. Coach Bald is going to pass it to Lambeau. Lambeau is going to pass it to the man from Seoul. The man from Seoul is going to pass it back to me. Coach Bald, how do you feel? Look at that. Let me show that. Man from Seoul, put that up there. Look at that. The medley totem pole. Lambeau better start working some overtime for that $2,000. Wow. Coach Bald, how do you feel about the Detroit Lions in the NFC North? Who do they have for everybody out there that plays fantasy football? You win 90% of all fantasy games that you play. And 90% of the people that watch Totem Pole are subscribed. That's 128,000. Now, Marshall Mathers and the Detroit Lions, Coach Bald, how do you feel about the Detroit Lions?
Hey, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Look, if you want to come home with one of these, this is a fantasy football Super Bowl trophy. You want to get Detroit Lions on your team. These guys are loaded at every place on offense. I'm telling you what, my favorite out of all of them, the first guy I would pick if I had the opportunity is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Explosive. He's going to be the next guy that steps up into that territory where you're talking about Jefferson. You're talking about Tyreek Hill. You're talking about CeeDee Lamb. This guy, if he was playing in any other big market, you would already be talking about him. Their tight end. You talk about a brick shit house with soft hands, Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta. Remember that name because soon you guys are going to forget about Kelsey. You've already forgot about Gronk. This is a force to be reckoned with right there at the tight end spot. Sam Laporta. Definitely a guy worth valuing. He's probably the third, fourth, definitely a top 5 tight end. And I tell you what, both of their running backs. I had one league last year where I had David Montgomery and I had Jahmyr Gibbs. If you get either one of those bad boys, you play them. If you get both of them on the same team, you play both of them. Those guys can score. Jahmyr Gibbs, every time he touches the ball, that guy can hit pay dirt. And Montgomery, he is just a touchdown machine. A touchdown machine. When they get to the red zone, inside the 3-yard line, that guy is going to get the football. Probably the guy that doesn't get any love, who's the new kid on the block, but coming back from injury, is Jameson. Give me some Jameson. Let's have some Jameson, guys, because Jameson Williams is going to have a big season this year. And with all those guys being well, Jared Goff is going to be a guy he's going to be there sitting there in the 12th, 13th round. He's going to be one of the quarterbacks that might not even get picked. Get that guy before everybody else does. He's a guy that could easily be slinging that rock. The Detroit Lions, they might just be the team to beat this season. I'm definitely looking forward to the Detroit Lions. They are having glory days. Finally, they have a team that has the equivalent power of a Calvin Johnson and a Barry Sanders on that same explosive offensive football team. Lambo, what do you think about the Lions? They were one game away from playing the Super Bowl, my man. What do you think about them?
Go ahead and read the comments first.
Yes, sir. Or you can read them too. Coach Jay Freeman from Michigan Wolverines, High Motor Edge, Aiden Hudson. Coach Jay Freeman, 8 Mile Mom Spaghetti. Future Clockman, what's up? Future Clockman was here yesterday. This is for you, Future Clockman. Elizabeth, Lambo is a candy man. All he's doing is sitting there being quiet. Wow.
Answer to your question,
Coach
Bald. How do I feel about the Lions? Look, last year is over. We saw what happened. They blew a lead. That's great. But this Lions team, I trust Dan Campbell, what he's done. EA Sports Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25. Ford Field, Jared Goff, Eminem. Hey, we forget about Amari St. Brown. We forget about that dude, the wide receiver documentary on Netflix. That's a great dude. Amon-Ra St. Brown. That guy has got his money. He's got his bag. Look, the defense under Aaron Glenn has improved. The offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, he could have took the head coaching job with Washington, but he stayed. Look, I'm not sure. I am confident about the Lions. I'm very confident about the Lions. But here's my issue right now. Here's my issue. It's going to be hard. Like I said, it's not easy. It's going to be hard to go, it was an NFC Championship game last year. It's going to be hard and then repeat it again when you had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. You completely dominated the 49ers. It's going to be hard. So their schedule, and you're in the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers are going to improve. The Chicago Bears can do something special. We'll see how good the offensive line is and see if their receivers can stay healthy. They got Roma Duze in the draft. Keenan Allen can stay healthy, not injury prone. And then the Vikings are looking surprisingly. We'll talk about that later. But I think the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell, he could bring something out of Sam Darnold. I look at the Lions, the division in the NFC North is going to go between the Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Who do I trust more? Well, Jordan Love got paid the big bucks after seeing him for 1 year, but the Lions have been doing it. They started from the ground up. They were bad, and now they're good. Will the Lions represent the NFC? Look, they might beat the Cowboys in the playoffs.
When did the Lions completely dominate the 49ers? When did that happen?
First half.
But they still lost the game. Okay, well, Caesar Tejada, Jets winning the division with Rodgers now. I was just wondering, because I don't remember them completely dominating because they didn't win. But I guess I forgot that.
Well, they dominated and they blew the lead. We know what happened. But with the Lions, yes. I don't think they represent the NFC. I still think the 49ers represent the NFC until somebody can beat them. The man from Seoul, what are you thinking about the Lions? Do you think the Lions can represent the NFC for the Super Bowl or not?
I think they can. I just think that, along the same lines and not even on the same level, but I look at them like I look at Houston. I think they take a minor step back, and that minor step back may cost them a home playoff game. Okay, what does but again, it's just a minor step back. But they can do. That's one team that's built to win anywhere because Dan Campbell has built that team to be fighters. But I just think record wise, they take a step back, and I think that that the Packers are ready to move and win the division. I know that roster. I love that Detroit roster, but last year was the chance, and then it's hard to come back from the things that transpired in that football game. I mean, to come all the way back, and then you've got to build that trust again in the coaching staff. I mean, the players and Dan Campbell. We don't know that dynamic that's going on in that locker room. So that's what we have September for. We get 4 games to see whose head is in it and who's got a squeaky wheel. So I would pause a little bit on Detroit. I mean, and I'm very like I said, I pause it on them just like I'm pausing on Houston. I mean, I don't want to just jump aboard the success and say hey, this is going to be a success thing that keeps continuing. However, I'm a big Iowa guy. Coach Ball, Sam Laporta, Lord have mercy. I mean, here we go again. George Kittle and all those guys, but he's more athletic than all those dudes that came out of Iowa. He is an athlete. And then on the other side of the ball, Coach Ball, Jack Campbell, the middle backer from Iowa, Laporta and him are going to pop. It's only year 2 for them. They were rookies playing on the field last year. But Jack Campbell, I mean, you're talking 6'4", 6'5", 235 middle backer, rangy. They got Dan Campbell type dudes on that roster. So love the Lions. I would play any of the skill guys to include the running back. And again, my question, because as you were talking, Coach Ball, is if Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl this year, is he a poor man's Kurt Warner?
No. He's Matt Stafford. One
No.
Super Bowl guy.
Yeah.
We got a lot of comments from the Jets
And he's
fans.
been there before.
Hold
on. He's been to one and lost, and then he goes to one and win. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. If he wins a Super Bowl, that's pretty good. That's pretty good
for the stuff he's been through, for a lot of pressure he's been put on.
But Kurt Warner's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, especially with that.
But that's what I'm saying. I've said I didn't say Hall of Famer. I said poor man's Kurt Warner, because Kurt Warner only won one, but he went to 3.
I think he's a Carson. What's that guy's name? He's a Jared Foles quarterback. He's a tall, skinny guy. I don't know, man.
Nick Foles,
Jared Foles, they're all the same. Napoleon Dynamite. Caesar Tejada. Jets winning the division with the Rodgers now. Milan says Jets. Caesar Tejada. Granite says Savages. Gator says kills a beast. Coach Shay Freeman said Paul from Souls preached against spitting facts. And in the Granite, $5 that will buy Lambo a Big Mac, I believe. There you go. Look.
No. He can get a biggie bag from Wendy's.
A biggie bag.
The biggie bag is $6 now.
In the Granite 617, this is for you. In the Granite 617. Nation, that's almost at the level of Eli Manning's success. Yes. They want to talk about the Jets. They want to talk about the New York Jets. Total Poll Nation in the chat. In the Granite, get it in, you laugh out loud. In the Granite 617, blessing us with cheddar. That's right. The New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, Coach Bald. Everybody wants to talk about the New York Jets. We're going to skip to the New York Jets. What do you got to say about the New York Jets, Coach Bald?
Jets, mess. Guess what, guys? You guys peaked last year in week 1. There's still a team. There's a top dog in that division. And they're going to be circling the wagons again this year, guys. So don't get your hopes up super high. But I do like Aaron Rodgers, Brees, the Beast Hall. He is a top 10 pick in fantasy. He might be the number 2 overall back after McCaffrey. The guy's a monster. He can catch out of the backfield. He's the total package. I mean, he played great with whoever the dude that was hanging out with all the moms. What was that kid's name? Now he's a Bronco.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. He was a beast with Zach Wilson. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like there with Aaron Rodgers. Hey, you also got Wilson, Garrett Wilson. And I saw the other day where they had a situation where I guess they were both kind of off target and everything. And, Rodgers said, hey, you should have done this. And Wilson said, well, had you not taken that trip to Saudi Arabia, maybe we would be on the same page. Ooh, they're already chirping in New York. And the best part about it is it's the biggest media place in the world. So they're already showing these guys chirp at each other. So I'm excited about that because, it's going to end up being a mess there eventually. You heard it here first, Totem Pole Nation. Mike Williams, Big Mike Williams, former wide receiver for the San Diego Superchargers, a.k.a. LA Chargers. Big Mike Williams is over there. So I'm excited to see if he's anything, to be honest with you. If he still has it, that's definitely a tough tandem on each side. 2 big stud receivers. Tyler Conklin is the man in the middle, the tight end, the big fella. He'd be a guy I would think a lot of people would sleep on, but, Rodgers has showed success with tight ends before. So I look at that. The Jets defense is always going to bring it. You know what I mean? They got big number 1.
Wow. Christopher Taylor. Bad luck from Canada. And then Cesar Tejada says, Coach. And then look at this. This is the first time we've ever gotten $10, dude. 10. This is the first time.
10.
Milan 6'5". Super Bowl this year. Remember, I said it. Adam Bachard says Jesus saves. And Milan, Super Bowl this year. Remember, I said it. Thank you. Coach Bald, how are you feeling?
Wow. Now, he said the Super Bowl is going to be who?
The Jets. And I agree with you, the Jets. Thank you for that $10 super chat. That's amazing.
We're talking about the same team last year that peaked in week 1. The same team that peaked in week 1, and it was just ever since. What did those guys do after they returned that punt in Buffalo? Maybe they're well rested.
They got 2 all-pro tackles. They got Aaron Rodgers back. Coach, man from Seoul, New York Jets.
Listen. You remember that guy that was on the roof in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
That's Aaron Rodgers. He's a sniper. He's not playing around. He's not playing around. And he's the one guy when he's not playing around, you can't play with him.
Because we didn't have a quarterback. Now we have a real backup if Rodgers gets hurt. And I think that is Tyrod Taylor, right? From the big VA. 2 up, 2 down.
He is. But they don't need him. He can collect the check and just enjoy New York. Because there's a guy that wears number 8 that's going to rip some shit up.
Wow.
I'm telling you right now. Rip some shit up.
I don't know what kind of peyote you guys have been smoking. Probably the same stuff Aaron Rodgers is. But that guy, he's just there to collect cash and build the hype. That hype machine is going to be down by I would say week 8. Week 8, when they're 2-5, you guys are not going to be singing the same story, guys. Sorry, Jet fans.
And you know what? I'm going to sit here for this one. I'm going to be just as quiet as AR8 because you know what? I don't have to say nothing because there's people in Miami, there's people in Buffalo, and there's people in Foxborough, Mass, shaking in their boots.
Chiefs, this is for you.
Chiefs is in the house.
Milan, the Gator says Milan 650. Thank you. Milan 650 says, yes, sir. Can't wait. In the Granite says, true good backup quarterback ain't going to help. I hope they do for you. And let's get back to the celebrities and their favorite NFL teams.
Now, we just talked about Lambo's insight on the Jets. I know he's got some insight on the Jets.
Yes.
You know what about the Jets? Look, I like Aaron Rodgers. I've never been an Aaron Rodgers hit. I love Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, I love watching him. I have nothing against him. I've watched him as a Green Bay Packer. It was a first-round draft pick in 2005 from California, EA Sports Electronic Arts, College Football 25, EA Sports Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25. But I'm going to go by what Robert Saleh said on Hard Knocks. It doesn't matter if you have a Hall of Fame quarterback. It doesn't matter if you have two $10 million wide receivers. It doesn't matter if you have 3 great running backs. It's all about the big boys up front. Week 1 against those San Francisco 49ers. I know they got 2 all-pro tackles. But at the end of the day, it's got to convert on the field. They're not going to beat the 49ers week 1. It's got Monday Night Football. A lot of hype. And by the way,
okay, time out. I'm about to check your oil here. Listen, what if they win the game? Are you just not going to come on the show? Are you just going to shut your mouth? What if they win the game? You said they're not going to beat the Niners.
If they win, they win. But I care about what they're going to do consistently throughout the season. Throughout the season, consistency is what I care about. So we'll see if they somehow make the AFC Championship game, which I don't think they will. Number 2, when it comes to the Jets, number 2, who runs the team? Is it Aaron Rodgers or Robert Saleh? Have they come together? Have they talked it out to see who really runs the team? No,
it's Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas is the GM.
Well, yeah, we know Joe Douglas, but I'm just saying as far as them two, between Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers. This is not. We want the relationship to be better than what it was with Mike McCarthy in the later years, right? Look at it like this: Aaron Rodgers got what? Maybe this year and maybe next year with the Jets, and that's it. Are we ever going to talk about the Jets again after this year or maybe next year? Are we ever going to talk about them again? What is this? All hype until what? Until you get rid of them? Look, Aaron Rodgers is going to be fine. They got great weapons. I'm not denying that. I just want to see what they do with the offensive line. Their defense, Quentin Williams is going to be great in fantasy. You got Sauce Gardner. You got Jermaine Johnson, the former JUCO out of Indy, last chance U. The defense is going to be fine. I want to see what they can do with the offensive line. And like I said, it doesn't matter how good you start. It matters how you finish. We see teams start with the number 1 seed, go 8-3, and collapse. We will see what the Jets do. If they beat the 49ers, congratulations. They didn't win the Super Bowl. It's an 18-game season.
And they didn't, and their season's not over when they lose either. That's the point.
I didn't say it was. I'm just saying I don't think they're going to beat the 49ers.
Number 1 Chiefs gamer says, bro, New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers is going to get his paycheck and then go repeat it until he retires. In the Granite 617 says, I ain't shaking, Coach Paul. Stop. No one STD scared to death, never. Caesar Tejada says, ha ha. Number 1 Chiefs gamer says, week 1 Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens. Bro, this is going to be so good. 2 best black quarterbacks. In the Granite 617, game is one of the line of scrimmage and defense. Justin the Terminator Medley said Sports Center. Caesar Tejada, Jets best improved team in the AFC. The New York Jets best improved team in the AFC. In the Granite 617 said, I like the Baltimore Ravens. Hart the Raven, Edgar Allan Poe's chances. Teddy Belcher says, Tony said Ravens. Gator said Totem Pole Nation, Sports Center. Caesar Tejada said Aaron Rodgers has experience. Now, next on our celebrities and their favorite NFL teams, Leonardo DiCaprio, Oscar-winning actor. His favorite team is the Las Vegas Raiders. Coach Paul, you win 90% of your fantasy football games. 90%. Wow. I think the Jets are going to really maybe win back-to-back Super Bowls.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness.
I think that the Jets may win back-to-back Super Bowls. Milan,
stop like that. Stop. No.
This guy understand the hustle.
Stop.
The Jets might win 3 Super Bowls in a row. No, Milan 650. Lambo, stop hating. You a Patriots fan. Go Jets.
I might hate. I just said I like Aaron Rodgers. How am I hating? I like Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, Milan, keep calling him what he is, a hater. Gator, great job. He said fire. And granted, you're right, Milan 650, laugh out loud. Milan 650 puts their money where their mouth is. The Jets might win back-to-back Super Bowls. The man from Seoul, Coach Bald. How do you feel about Milan 650? How do you feel about Leonardo DiCaprio and the Las Vegas Raiders?
Hey, man.
I got a question. That's an excellent take, but who has better odds of winning back-to-back Super Bowls, the Jets or the Patriots?
Ooh.
I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for a team. You gotta pick one.
The Jets.
That's a truthful answer.
Jets are closer.
It's not
Coach
Jets
Bald,
or Patriots. It's neither.
Coach Bald.
You know what you're building over there, Mr.
Buffalo.
What's your name?
Lambo Calrissian.
Yeah, Lambo Calrissian, Lambo Belichick, whatever your name is. You're building bad karma over there, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. You know, you remember the baseball player, the Big Hurt? That's me. I'm the Big Hurt.
No.
I'm the Big Hurt.
I'm telling the truth. The truth sets you free. I said neither team. So
you told me the truth. You told me the truth about your draft position. You damn sure told me the truth about that. But you know who you're about to see? Hurt me. The Big Hurt.
I don't think so.
Milan 650. Milan 650. Gator says I'd have to say the Jets because they have the set. Elizabeth, Ravens are really good. We're going to get to the Baltimore Ravens. Leonardo DiCaprio, the Oakland, Las Vegas, Oakland, LA Raiders. Tell me about them, Coach Bald. NFL Fantasy 2024. 90% of your game winning percentage. 90% of all Totem Pole Nation is subscribed. That's 128,000. Go ahead, Coach Bald.
Well, hey, you know what? They lost a huge piece of their puzzle last year with Josh Jacobs, so you got to look there first. Who are they going to replace him with? Jameer White. He took over, and, I mean, he played fantastic down the stretch. Those guys won a lot of games there at the end. It was very surprising. You know, they got the former linebacker from the New York Football Giants, so he knows about toughness. He's going to be running the football, but it's not going to be all ground and pound because they got a guy they got to get the ball to. You talk about Aaron Rodgers, you got to talk about Devontae Adams, his former stud wide receiver. You got to get that guy the rock. Somehow you got to sketch it up, draw it up. Somehow get that guy the football with it in his hands, get him in some space. He'll make some good things happen. I think he could be a guy. It's going to come on the shoulders of Gardner Minshew. What is the stash going to do? What is the stash going to do in Vegas? I think he's going to do well. He performed pretty well with the Colts last season. He's had all off season. The thing I like that the Raiders did last season was in this upcoming draft, they went out and got the stud Brock Bowers.
Yes.
Tight end from Georgia. And this guy is a freaking unit. He's Rob Gronkowski's size, but the guy runs a 4.4 40. I mean, he's a heck of an athlete. He's going to be a guy that you're going to have to probably have one guy on him and have somebody, you know, in his range.
Wow.
Because, hey.
Wow.
The guy's a
Coach
stud.
Dave Freeman with $20.
Whoa. Wow.
Troy Taylor is Papi Chulo. Man, how did you know what my nickname used to be? Man from Seoul.
I mean,
How are you feeling tonight? $20, dude.
Dude, I'm just, hey man, I'm gonna, hey man, I'm just sitting back. I'm sitting back.
How do you feel about the Raiders?
The Raiders. Hey, look, man. Hey, news flash, all you Raiders fans out there. I think the fix is in with the Raiders. There's not much to go to fantasy, so I'll give you a little bit on it. Look, they I think they're trying to lose. I think they're in a quarterback sweepstakes year, and they're trying to be the first in line. And they know, here's the deal. They know the Patriots, who are going to be picking first in the draft, aren't going to take a quarterback. So they just need to be in the top 5. See, the team, they know, like Carolina, they may be in the top 5 too. The guys that just took quarterback and then end up back in the top 5, they're not taking quarterback. So they're in the front line. They're in the front line for Shedeur Sanders. Are the Patriots going to take Shedeur Sanders at 1 if they get the first pick in the draft? No. So the Raiders are in a prime spot. That's why they didn't chase Kirk Cousins or anything. They're going to get their guy from college, and it's going to be this year. And then again, they get the best player on the board. Coach Ball, you're all over it. Get your young tight end, your quarterback friend for Shedeur Sanders, and then you got to ramp it off. Everyone can't damn win the Super Bowl every year. You got to have a method, or you got to have a vision. I see their vision by bringing in Minshew and staying with O'Connell. And again, they're going to leapfrog teams like the Patriots and all that because they got a business model that I like. Just lose, man. Just lose, baby. That's the way you get there. Get the damn quarterback. Get the damn quarterback.
If I could jump on that wagon with you, Paul, they brought in a new offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. All right. He was the passing scheme coordinator for the Chicago Bears. And guess what? They fired him after 2 years. You could be on to something with that crystal ball. I do like that other tight end, Myers, they got. They got 2 stud tight ends.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot about that. Thank you, Coach Bald. Attack the middle of the field with a young quarterback, and then we'll worry about the outside guys. Devontae Adams is going to the Jets before the trade deadline. Watch. You heard it here first. He's out there.
Wow.
Dude, they're building that shit. They're gonna get a young quarterback, a young running back, 2 tight ends, and they're gonna play dirty. They're gonna play in the box. They're gonna try to beat you in the box. Dude, I forgot about the Notre Dame tight end. Coach Bald. Thank you. Yeah.
Those ladies at the flea market get slippery when the mayor of Courthouse Green comes through. Lambo, did you ever play slip and slide as a kid?
Yes, I did. Slip and slide.
There you go. Did you ever play slip and slide with the chick from the Waffle House? Gator, Coach Freeman, Coach Shay Freeman. The Commanders better bring in Paul from Seoul as a personal consultant. Good Lord. Man, what a night.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach Jay. Dude, I do. Hey, look, man, I do my homework.
In the grand,
this is my life.
Milan gave 10. Coach Shay Freeman with 20. What a blessing, Totem Pole Nation. Hold on for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, the world famous. Darkman X got you bouncing in here. Darkman X got you sitting in the dark.
Don't you ever say we're scared. Foxborough might be scared, but Beantown definitely ain't scared. The bloody fucking bean. What do you know about that? Coach Paul?
Hey.
A bloody fucking bean.
Hey,
what do you know about that?
Hey,
what do you know about that, sir?
Hey, well, you know what?
What do you know about that, sir?
Hey, don't own all of that stuff, bro. Listen.
Don't own it.
I was talking
I own
about
this fucking whole city, motherfucker.
No, I'm talking about the football team.
Oh, that's gonna take 4 years. Yeah, I want to see all the other teams do well.
No, hey, I know you're not scared. You're not scared of Jesus Christ himself. You know,
No,
I'm
I'm
good.
scared of Jesus. I'm scared of God.
Whatever he said.
I'm scared of my wife and God.
He's
That's
sorry.
No,
Bobby.
no. Let's
Coach Ball.
Hey,
I mean,
Nizzo. No, we're talking football.
Coach
Nizzo.
Paul, I'm
Whatever he
only
said
busting
about
your balls.
Boston,
Brother.
No, I know
apologize.
that. I know that. But listen.
You know I respect
Hey,
you.
I love how you own it. I love how you own everything in that state. I'd say the Patriots are scared, then that means everybody's scared, and you're ready to kick some ass.
Well,
I like it.
Let me ask you something. If I could walk on that fucking field and throw a ball 70 yards without even taking one step, perfect spiral, shouldn't they fucking hire me as the quarterback?
Yes.
Yes, they should.
'Cause I'm a fucking athlete, motherfucker.
The
I'm not
man
just a
from
fighter.
Seoul.
I'm an athlete first.
Yes. I love the man from Seoul.
Yeah,
I love you, bro. You're
52-year-old
smart.
quarterback.
You're speaking facts. Go Jets. Milan 650 just gave $10 to the low man
Go
on the
Jets.
totem pole. Where is Howard Shotsky?
You're doing it, man.
Howard Shotsky would
They
be
get paid
smiling.
filthy.
T-Mac said, what it do?
They get
T-Mac,
paid filthy, like Coach Paul said. They're gonna get
this
paid
is for
dirty.
you.
Didn't mean to cut you off, Coach Troy.
No,
Do your thing,
Elizabeth
bro.
No.
said she got to buy a membership.
No,
But
that's
they're
part-
gonna do him filthy. He's right. He's right. Coach Paul's right. I mean, yeah, Coach Paul's right. They're
Yeah,
gonna do him dirty. They're gonna do
Whatever
him
he
filthy.
said about Boston, I apologize because I see
Oh,
you're
he didn't
very.
say nothing bad about Boston. He said Foxborough. That's a fucking town out west in the Hickville out there.
Yeah,
He's the
no,
fucking brick.
no,
No
that's
one's
where the
scared of it.
Patriots play, bro. Foxborough, Mass, right?
I
Yeah.
know, you're right. I said you're
You know,
correct. They're
Okay.
scared out there. There's no one scared in Beantown.
No,
I promise you that.
Bobby Nizzo, do you respect Will Smith as an MC? Will Smith's favorite team is the Philadelphia Eagles.
I gotta say, I can't tell a lie. I'm a brutally honest person. Summertime is always good
Yes.
in the springtime when you heard that on the radio.
All he
Those
did
guys-
was freestyle
Well-
for 2 days straight to get LL Cool J's respect. The dude
Well,
worked
I
his
didn't like
way.
that he slapped the Rock, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Rock.
Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, because I would have Chris Rock should have fucking
Elizabeth
left
said,
Buffalo.
laugh out
He
loud.
should have
I
slipped
lost
and
my
ripped.
membership
He should have slipped and
just
ripped.
to see Coach Old School again. I think if you buy a membership, I think Coach Old School will appear. Coach Jay Freeman, when it gets really hot in the summer, we bring out the slip and slide for the football players. A bunch of Visqueen and dishwashing soap. We make a ghetto slip and slide. Amen. Will
do.
Smith, the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't
Bobby
want to hate on the
Nizzo.
guy. Wu-Tang
How
forever,
do you
though.
feel about Bobby Nizzo, the Philadelphia Eagles? Is there anybody on the Philadelphia Eagles team, Bobby Nizzo, that people need to be aware of this coming fantasy football season in the NFL?
Aren't they the same team as exactly last year, the city of brotherly love? It's actually the city of brotherly hate. They hate on everybody. Just like everyone hates on fucking Boston, too.
Yes.
It's us Northeast Beast teams can't get no fucking respect. And the Jets, I hope they do well, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
Ooh.
I highly doubt it. I think
Well-
Baltimore does better.
Yes.
And I think
Don't wanna
we're still
bust
going to
your
get past Buffalo. They got to get by
Freeman.
KC. So the Jets are dreaming.
Coach Jay Freeman says, don't want to bust your bubble, but girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. So when they give you the play, just turn your head and you say, no way. Coach Bald, the Philadelphia Eagles, Will Smith. How do you feel about Will Smith and the Philadelphia Eagles and this NFL fantasy football 2024 season?
The Eagles are loaded with some guys you want on your roster. Probably the biggest feast or famine guy could be Saquon Barkley. He's finally on a legitimate contender. They don't have the center anymore. They don't have Jason Kelsey, the Kelsey brothers. They do not have him at center anymore. So I don't see the tush push coming quite as frequent. I see them handing the rock off to Saquon Barkley. He could definitely be this year's top tier back. He could be a guy that at the end of the season takes you to that pay dirt, gets you that trophy that you want. A.J. Brown, the big receiver, he's another guy, man. He could take the game over or he can disappear for the game. He is one of the main reasons I think they had that huge downfall slide last year, where I think they started off like 8-1, 8-2, and then they folded like a lawn chair, got taken out by the Tampa Bay Bucs last season. But one of my favorite, guys they had, what my wife always calls him is Dallas Joe Dirt, is what she calls him. His last name is Go Dirt, but she calls him Joe Dirt. And that's the big tight end, number 88. You need good tight ends in this league because there's not a whole lot that are actually going to get targets. He's the guy that gets targeted quite often. He suffered some injury last season. So a lot of times when guys suffer injuries, they get drafted very late the next season. He's a guy that could bounce back and be a big-time player. Hey, you got to go with the quarterback, man. Jalen Hurts. You know, the guy can squat a ton of weight. Maybe that tush push is stronger. Maybe they get a bigger offensive center that can get in there and do it just the way the big fella did. But those are the guys I target. The Eagles defense, they can be good. They got a lot of Georgia Bulldogs on that defense. And, you know, in Philly, I think they're at a season where it's Super Bowl or bust. You know, the hype is running out on those guys. The hype is running out on those guys. Coach Lambeau, I think you're feeling the same vibe. Coach Lambeau and Bobby Nizzo, I think we can all agree on this one thing. As New England Patriot fans and as a Buffalo Bill fan, that the New York Jets suck. Tell me, Lambeau.
Absolutely.
Look, I tell you this. Look, when it comes down to the
you were locked in. Sorry, Lambeau. You're locked in, Coach Ball.
No, you good. When it comes down to the Eagles, Saquon Barkley, you got Devontae Smith, you got A.J. Brown, you got Jalen Hurts, University of Alabama. You got a great corner. You got a great defensive line. Look, Nick Sirianni, I know there's a lot to talk about. Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat. Maybe not. I don't think so. I mean, the guy has a 34-17 record. I mean, first year they went to first year they missed the playoffs and made it to the playoffs. And the second year they went to the Super Bowl. So, look, Eagles fans, Super Bowl bust. Remember, 2 new coordinators. Vic Fangio on defense, Kellen Moore on the offense. Jalen Carter is going to be great. Jordan Davis is going to be great. Look, this is easy. The man from Seoul said it. He said it about the Cowboys. We'll get to the Cowboys later or maybe after this or whatever. The Cowboys might tank this year, but that makes it easy for me because I'm the biggest Cowboys hater in America. It makes it easy for me. So the Philadelphia Eagles will win the NFC East this year. They'll be consistent. We'll see. I don't think their offense is going to be new. The tush push is not going to work, obviously, but the pass game has to be better downfield. The run game with Saquon Barkley is going to be better, but Saquon Barkley does have a history of injuries as well, ankle injury, torn ACL, so he has to be able to stay healthy. The running back market is, gone downhill. Does Saquon Barkley have a chance to be maybe the number 2, number 3 running back in NFL? When healthy, yes. When hurt, no. I trust the Eagles to win the division. I think they have a chance to get to the Super Bowl, but we don't know until they get to the playoffs. Like they folded against the Bucs. That depends on how consistent they can be throughout an 18-game season, which the year before, or actually the year before they went to the Super Bowl, they went 13-4. We saw how hot of a start he can get to, but with the retirement of Jason Kelsey, who's no longer there, with some guys leaving, with coordinators getting fired, new defense or whatever. Look, I trust Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio, former defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, a long-time former defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. The defense is going to be elite. The secondary is going to get better. That was the problem. The secondary was god-awful bad. But my main players, when you talk about fantasy football, give me Saquon Barkley. I'll take Devontae Smith over A.J. Brown just because he's going to disappear. And then look, those are my two main guys. But look, at the end of the day, the Eagles will win the NFC East. The man from Seoul is Nick Sirianni on the hot seat, or what is the story of the Eagles this year in the 2024 season?
Okay, thank you. Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat. It's a fractured, broken, unorthodox locker room. I mean, everyone's being hush hush, but Jalen Hurts does not like Sirianni. Brown, as you said, disappears, and then I started thinking, guys, you go back to last year divisional round football. You guys love football. I love football too. But you know what we didn't have in the divisional round last year in football? We had a superstar wide receiver down in Tampa Bay, and he resigned with the Bucs. But he's not a chirper. But the rest of the teams in the divisional round did not consist of chirping-ass wide receivers like Brown. Brown is a cancer. He's going to bring them down again. You got to move on from that, man. That's why the Chiefs moved on. That's why the Chiefs didn't have to keep Tyreek. Think about the 8 teams that showed up divisional round last year. I will say them right now. Detroit, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, San Francisco, Kansas City, Houston, Baltimore. Anybody hear any chirping receivers on those squads?
Nope.
Since when do we have to start paying receivers $30 million? There's one guy who doesn't chirp. He plays in Tampa Bay, and he's a superstar.
Mike Evans.
But the rest of those guys, the guy that went from Buffalo to Houston, he's going to mess it up. As soon as something goes bad, he's going to mess it up in Houston. He's going to mess it up. Look at the teams that made it to divisional round. You don't have chirping wide receivers. That's a common trend. I do my homework. I watch.
Amen.
Doesn't work. The Eagles are in big trouble. I don't have the Eagles in divisional round because you know what? New offensive coordinator, as you said, Lambeau. Brown, when he doesn't get included because he makes $100 million and he thinks that he wants to shine. So does the guy that wore 14 in Buffalo that wears 1 in Houston now. He wants to be the reason. But he has other teammates. He don't care about teammates. It's about me.
Can I ask you a question? Are you confident in the Eagles defense or no? Are you confident in Vic Fangio? Because you mentioned the new offensive coordinator. You iterated on it and the new defense.
Look. I'm a big Fangio fan. I'm not confident in their offense coordinator because when he was in Dallas, we all poo-pooed on him, and now we want to make him this great guy because he's with Hurts and Barkley. Come on, no, he's still who he is. He went to the Los Angeles Chargers and did absolutely jack garbage shit last year. So I don't want to hear about him.
Yep.
No, I'm done. No, I don't want to hear about him. He don't give him no credit until he actually does something.
He couldn't do nothing with Justin Herbert, which is sad.
He didn't do nothing. Yes, correct. And I'm not gonna say he had Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott's hot garbage to me anyway. But Vic Fangio, yeah, he's gonna dial up some stuff on defense. But again, it's disjointed. You have guys. Vic Fangio has been a head coach. You got a guy coming in from over here. Sirianni thinks he's a head coach, but he really is not because it's Vic Fangio. Is Vic Fangio gonna even entertain anything Nick Sirianni says to him?
No.
He's not the damn head coach. They have a dysfunctional family over there in Philly, and it's gonna. Hey, where's Coach Ball? There he is, Coach Ball. The same thing you said about the Jets. That's the Eagles for me. It's too funky of a locker room for me, and it's under the microscope right now. No one's talking about. You can't really see it, but if you've been studying it like you watch soap opera, like General Hospital, like me, I know what's going on in there, and it ain't good. It ain't good because hey, let me ask you something, Coach Bald. If you were on a good football team, you had a great quarterback, Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox. You don't come back for a last hurrah. Let's go kick some ass. No, you don't, because I don't like this locker room. It sucks. That's why they're at home. Next slide.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's one more thing, because you mentioned those two teams, that I wanted to say that is very important with fantasy football. When you have running backs like a Saquon Barkley and a Breece Hall, what you want to do is it's called getting a handcuff. Okay. You have drafted these guys very early, and you want to hit pay dirt with these guys. But if one of those guys are to go down, because they have several good weapons around, whoever the backup running back is, you may want to grab him and stash him in the second to last pick that you have, just in case. Just in case Breece Hall goes down, you want to have that running back, because he's going to be a guy that steps in there right away, and he's probably going to get you some points. Same thing with Saquon Barkley.
But again, Coach Bald, see your guy, the receiver opposite of your guy in Tampa could have a 3-touchdown day, and he's going to be happy. Dude, you don't re-sign back in Tampa when you're a free agent if you just don't love it there. He does. He's a team guy. He ain't an eye guy. But because he's so good, he's going to get his money. But he's not, because he has his money, he doesn't expect the football every other time. That's what makes him special, man. And Tampa Bay might be that little sneaky pick this year, man.
They both got two big receivers, man. I mean, Chris Godwin, he's 6'2", 215. Mike Evans, 6'3", 6'4", 220. They block. That's a key to their success too, man. Is those guys block.
Tristan Wirfs,
and again, okay, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Detroit, and Green Bay. That's my final four in the NFC, because they don't have wide receivers that chirp. I hate chirping wide receivers. I hate it.
Is Tristan Wirfs the highest paid offensive lineman in Tampa Bay? I heard he just got paid.
It's the history of the league.
Yeah, he just got paid. So with Tristan Wirfs on the offensive line, man, it's a wrap. The Bucs win the NFC South. It's a wrap.
Got a comment here from Coach Jay Freeman. What's running back Will Shipley's impact going to be with the Eagles? A primary backup for Saquon Barkley?
Hold.
You're drafting Saquon Barkley. You want to get Will Shipley late, okay? Get him late just in case. Barkley has had some injuries, and Shipley, I mean, that guy looks good getting off the bus, runs a 4.4 40, did not get overly used at the University of Clemson. Very explosive guy. He's a guy that I think you latch on to. I know you're ready to go, Lambo. What do you got for me?
No. Before we continue, I for watching Clemson, I think he was overly used with him and Phil Mafia, because they didn't have much in the pass game, but that was it. I think he'll be a great addition to the Eagles, but that depends on Kellen Moore. The man from Seoul, you have something to say? You put your hand up.
I sure did. Because today I watched a little bit of tape of the Eagles, and I saw what Coach Troy Taylor said. He said this yesterday. Jalen Hurts got his money on the backs of others, but I went back and watched every game from last year. He can't read coverage.
Yep, I did too.
Troy Taylor, you're right. Troy Taylor, you are so right, dude. He made his money on the backs of others. And because he's a quarterback, he got the $50 million. He can't read coverage. He doesn't. You can tell by his head. You just watch his head, dude. He's a high school quarterback playing in the NFL. I'm not trying to throw shade, but guys, that matters, because defensive coordinators, that's why it gets harder for Jalen Hurts every year, because they know more and more about him, and they dictate where he's going to throw the ball, because he doesn't read coverage. He squats 600 pounds. He can run the football. Troy, you're so right. He can't read coverage. He can't read coverage.
Is this what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers say that his rookie year, they were on the sideline saying he can't read. And then his second year had a good year. And then the third year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just brought cover zero every snap. He couldn't run.
He can't. I watched it last night, dude, man. I woke up in the middle of the night and I just watched the Eagles because I heard you say that. I'm like, what did Troy tell me he can't read coverage? And I went to YouTube.
Can't read.
Dude.
He struggled.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I heard the Buccaneers saying that the DBs were saying it on the sidelines his rookie year. Then they ran into him in the playoffs, and it was cover zero every snap. Like, I'm a high school coach in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, they're bringing cover zero max pressure. You better have an answer for cover zero. Gators to Coach Taylor did say that, had me doing my homework.
Mm-hmm. When you said that, I go, what? I didn't say nothing. It just, I'm like, dude, there's some things you internalize. Gator, thank you for making that statement because it made me go, what the hell did he just say? I got to go see myself.
And that's why. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just saying Daniel Radcliffe, New York Giants. I guess this is the dude from Harry Potter. He's a New York Giants fan. Where's Howard Schotsky? Where is Michael Strahan's agent? Yes, Lambo.
I got it. I'm just New York Giants, EA Sports, Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25, MetLife Stadium, Eli Manning, Tom Coughlin, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, the team that defeated my Patriots twice. Look, the Giants. And watching that Hard Knocks I finished it on HBO Max. I finished that offseason. Look, I don't like the GM like right now. I know he did great. Joe Sheen, he did what he did with Buffalo, with Brian Dable, but I just feel like the ignorance when he said he didn't know that Saquon Barkley was going to go to the Eagles just made John Mora so mad. And I'm just like, ugh. And I understand that the running back position isn't the same. I understand that. But look, you built the offensive line. Darren Waller retired. You drafted Malik Neighbors at 6. You got Brian Burns for multiple draft picks. Look, the Giants with Daniel Jones, with him being injured, they got Drew Lock for a 1-year deal. Look, I don't know how patient the Giants are going to be because the Giants the last couple of years since the last couple of years after Tom Coughlin, they hadn't been to the playoffs except that 1 year. So they had Ben McAdoo, then they had Pat Shurmur, then they had Joe Judge, and now they have Brian Dable. I like Brian Dable, but the Giants are going to make a huge mistake if they fire him this year, if they don't produce results. Now, is Daniel Jones my favorite pick? It doesn't really matter about what I think, to be honest, if he's my favorite or not. I didn't think they try to have him as an Eli Manning guy, the relationship with Eli Manning, David Cutcliffe, the former head coach of Duke, all that other stuff. Look, the Giants are going to struggle. Offensive line, they got some. Don't trust them. I don't trust Daniel Jones, especially in that division. You have Jaden Daniels, you have Dak Prescott, and you got Jalen Hurts. Who's going to be the best quarterback in the division? Dak Prescott in the playoffs. And Jalen Hurts, we'll see how good he's going to be this year. Obviously, we just talked about how great he wasn't. Look, at the end of the day, when it comes to the Giants, they're going to struggle. They're going to fail to make the playoffs, and they're going to have to get a top 5 pick and get another quarterback. Coach Bald, what are you thinking about the New York Giants, MetLife Stadium, the same stadium that the Jets play in?
It's going to be a long season, pal, especially for all you Giant fans. There's not a player on this roster that I want on my fantasy team. I'm not going to lie. If I had to choose one, I would go with Graham Cano, the kicker. He's the only person I would think that can bring any value. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I think Drew Lock is a better football player than Danny.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
It's a crime. Devin Singletary, he's a little running back out of FAU, I believe. He's taken over for Saquon Barkley. That offensive line was not very good last season. The tight end, he doesn't really stand out to me. None of the receivers. Jalen Hyatt out of the University of Tennessee, he's a guy that flashes some big play, but if you're going to depend on a guy like Jalen Hyatt to win a fantasy football trophy, it's going to be a long season for you too, pal. I don't have anybody with any that I would want on my roster. I just don't see anybody on their team flourishing. If they come out of nowhere and make the playoffs, I will be shocked as I've ever been. This team is just – I don't see them being any good in that division. at all. The Malik Neighbors, I mean, he was a stud in college, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 4.35. But, are they going to scheme up something for him? I don't know. I like Brian Daboll. I like the big fella there. Thought he had a lot of success with Buffalo, but I think everybody's figured out that, Danny Dimes is not Josh Allen. So I just don't see these guys, having very much success at all. Crystal ball, Paul, what is your insight on the New York Football Giants? Is it going to be a long season, or are they going to be picking first or second right there with the New England Patriots?
Well, great way to end that, Coach Ball. First of all, it would be very unfortunate if Dayball was fired. I'm a big Dayball fan. I mean, I know they hitched their saddle to him because they left Buffalo, him and the assistant GM, and they're like, he's our guy. But I hope the neighbors pick not taking McCarthy right there as a quarterback to come behind doesn't come back to bite them. I think that they are, Coach Ball, yes, they will be a top 5 team with the Patriots picking in the top 5. I don't want to turn this show into a betting show, but I will defer to my friend, Mr. Nizzo, because I'm a big-time fader when it comes to September. Nizzo, am I fading the Giants in September?
I think you and Coach Ball handled it perfectly. I'm not.
No. But this Coach Bobby?
This should be a gambling channel. This should. Yeah, no,
I'm gambling now. So am I?
Make a lot of money. Make a lot of money. Are you? I'll pay the money that the losses, and I'll split the winnings with all my team here.
But are you fading the Giants in September?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because that's one of those fade. That's because last year I faded the Chicago Bears in September, and it was very fruitful. I always pick 2 teams that I know are going to lose big, and I take the other team every time. I don't care who they're playing.
What about the Bears? I mean,
I'm not fading them this year. They're going to win. I need somebody who's going to suck like the Patriots.
Oh, they're definitely going to suck. The Patriots. We are fucking hurting for like 4 years.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to take. You got to suck before you're good. But again, you can make money off the Patriots because they suck. That's the beauty of it all.
Oh yeah, they said like people don't realize they suck. When they
talk to them, Nizzo, you can make big money when you know you got a loser.
God damn, they were horrible for like 20 fucking years. Then they went on a 20-year run, so I wasn't complaining. I'm definitely not complaining now. I'm rooting for everyone else's teams out there. But
let me tell you something. This is what people don't realize.
You guys
if you put $1,000, if you put $1,000 on the Patriots every year that Tom Brady was the quarterback. Dude, you'd have a yacht and you'd be hanging out over there, not over here, and doing not this.
Well,
Tom Brady was fruitful for you guys up there, and you got Nizzo. Don't act like you didn't just ride that wave, because I met some people in Las Vegas that rode the Brady cover wave because they like to cover back in the Nizzo. Don't play me. Don't play me.
Hold on. I loved everything about Brady and Belichick. Listen.
Did Brady and Belichick cover?
Oh, they had a great. They always had great defenses.
No. Did they cover for you a lot?
No, Belichick. What do you mean cover for me? What do you mean me?
Cover the number
for Foxborough.
Cover the number.
Cover the spread.
Oh, cover the spread.
They were good at it for 20 years.
Hey, Paul, let me get you these numbers right here.
I didn't know that's what you were trying to ask me, Coach.
I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sorry. Sorry.
They covered.
They did.
Sorry, brother.
They motherfuckers covered like shit.
Yeah, they did. They did a lot. I'd say it's about 80-90%.
Yes.
75 at least.
And I think they did it for the people in Foxborough in that stadium. They just did it for all of you guys. I
Yeah.
think
Ernie
you.
Adams
Matter
knew what
of
his
fact,
threat was.
Bobby Nizzo. I think you know Belichick. You told him things.
No, I ain't telling Belichick anything. I have a shirt with Belichick, and every picture it's the same face with a different fucking word underneath every face. Every emotion on the planet, right? And his face is the same. I'll bring it down and show it to you in a second when I go take a leak.
Yes.
Just to make you laugh.
No, but me, when I used to go to Las Vegas with my friend Kurt, we used to sit there and it's like, this is what we did one year. One year we're like, dude, look at fucking Brady. That motherfucker's covered 14 out of 16 games. And then the next year, we put $1,000 on the Patriots every game. What a year that was.
Yeah, that's what professional gamblers do. They
Holy
worry about every 3
mackerel,
months,
dude.
every 6 months, or every year. If
Yeah.
they're ahead money.
The Patriots love to cover during the Belichick Brady
their
years.
run. You're right. They did. You're right, brother. And that's a very good point. You know what? I didn't even think of that till you said it.
Yes.
You think of it, man, that's what being a part of Totem Pole Nation is all about. Seeing things from other perspectives.
I'm looking for people. Because again, there's coaches and people and players and organizations that are about the people. The Patriots, like Kraft said, we're the Patriots. They like
Coach
to pay their
Freeman
people.
Just gave it $20 again.
They like to pay their people. They covered. Go back and look the last 20 years.
Some days you got to work really hard just not to commit a felony.
Someone asked that a couple years ago, and I was like, "Yeah,
real
about
life hero Bobby Nizzo, Jay Freeman, Brady made Belichick, and they made the Patriots." Gator said,
"Yep, yes,
hey, come on,
yep,
Gator,
Nizzo,
come on,
Nizzo."
Jay Freeman,
you want a quick story? I don't want to cut for you. You want to hear a really crazy story?
Yeah, go ahead.
2001 series, the whole 2001 season. We're making, me and my partner, 10,000 profit a week, right? Then the Super Bowl comes. It was we're sitting there for 6 hours prior to the game. We're saying, how do we win no matter what this fucking so we call all of it into our to my mentor, right? And it was 100 to make 400 on the Patriots. And we were so fucking numb that fucking Sunday, we didn't say 100 to make 250 because everyone was going to take the Patriots anyways. So the next day, my mentor comes by 28,000. We had to break it all up. We could have kept like 8,000 of that. We could have kept 8,000 of that. We just called it all in that day because it's one game. Like, when there's a lot of games going on, we always took that action.
Mm-hmm.
And we always won. Mm-hmm. So anyone's 18 and over in that savage chat room over there, right? And this should be, break off the heads of the team here, a little bit of money. Thank you, Coach Jay Freeman, for setting an example anyways. Cheap people, man, $2, $5, just throw it in there, man. Help these people out. Look at it. If you're 18 and over, I will take your action and I will split it with my partners there.
Justin Bieber, the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons coach Ball. Will Kirk Cousins still be the starter, or will Michael Penix Jr. from Tampa Bay take his job? Coach Bald.
Oh,
Liam
boy.
plays games. Liam plays games, says, stop cursing. Liam plays games. Everyone is so offended now. When I was a kid, I don't think I would ever tell an adult.
Don't accuse me of shit that I'm not doing. How's that one?
Stargrove says, good evening, Totem Pole Nation. I see the gang's all here. Moose 914. Yes. Yes, Yonkers, New York, the best pizza in New York City. Moose, just stop by. What's up, Totem Pole family? Liam plays game, says, okay, that's it. Bye.
Come with that good love. I can't rebuke it.
Oh,
You got me beat
Coach
up.
welcome
How
to
do
the
you
real
feel,
world, baby.
Coach Ball,
Welcome to the real world.
about the Falcons?
Yeah, you know what? They've got a lot of good pieces that are sitting there, man. Will they finally be able to get the guys the ball? You know, you got to start with Bijan Robinson, you know, the big stud. They drafted him in the top 5 last season. He had a game where they started him and he got no reps. I don't know what that was about. Kyle Pitts, the University of Florida Gators. The guy played like Tarzan when he was at the Florida Gators. Ever since he's been with the Atlanta Falcons, the guy plays like Jane. He's maybe had 500 or 600-yard games in his 4 or 5 seasons. Are they going to get him the rock?
Brandon Toms, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
one of my questions. But you know what? They've got some pieces there, man. I like the Drake London kid. You know, he's a big wide receiver. He's arguably going to be their top wide receiver. I look for him to have a good season. You know, I think Atlanta's defense is kind of shaky. You know, they got a defensive-minded coach with Raheem Morris. They got Daryl Mooney, big receiver that can really stretch the field as well. But the top 2 guys I like London. I like Robinson. You know, I don't know how soon Cousins is going to be ready. You know, you're learning a new system. You tore your Achilles. You know, the Achilles injury is it's a tough one to come back from. You know, it's going to be interesting. A lot of people didn't like the pick. I know my man Crystal Ball Paul was salivating when they made that pick because they didn't need to go get Penix. But hey, man, he was there. They pulled the trigger on him. He might be their future. Crystal Ball Paul, let's hear it, man. I know you like that pick. Let's hear the mindset and the reasoning behind it.
Well, thank you, Coach Ball. And I mean, I'm gonna grab the mic and take and run with it for just a second. But I will start right there with the quarterback. Thank you, Coach Ball. Let's start right there because I got a lot of places to go here with the Atlanta Falcons. Number 1, Kirk Cousins bringing him in. You know what, Pittsburgh, you messed up. You should have brought him in yourself because you wouldn't be in this predicament. Because he offers you stability right away and a chance to win right away. But the math behind the Penix pick was this. At best, Kirk Cousins is going to be the starting quarterback for your Atlanta Falcons for 3 years. That gives Michael Penix Jr. to start year 4, right before the 5th-year option because he's a first-round pick, and they get to kick the tires just like the Green Bay Packers. But they're not kicking any tires because they'll know exactly who they have in the building, just like the Packers did with Jordan Love. Because he's been there with his head coach for 3 years, and then he got the ball, and he knows exactly who's who in the zoo. Again, pieces. They got pieces on offense all over the place. But I think the most important thing and the most underrated thing about the Atlanta Falcons is this, and this what scares me about the team that resides in Tampa Bay. The head coach, defensive guy, he's going to get that defense going. He's going to study every team in their division. He knows how to win, but he doesn't have to worry about offense. They got pieces, but he's got to galvanize a defense. He's done it everywhere he's been. Raheem Morris has done it everywhere he's been. And he's not just taking a head coaching job because he's already been a head coach just to be a head coach again. He's looking for an opportunity to be successful. And he took the Atlanta job knowing I got pieces on offense. I took Kirk Cousins, and I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to take Penix Jr. because I don't know how long the Kirk Cousins experiment's going to last. If he gives me 2 years, like Aaron Rodgers, I've got a bona fide first-round quarterback waiting in the wings, and I can continue my process on defense. They are a scary, scary football team. And you heard it here first. You heard it on Totem Pole Nation here first. Game number 1 at home. It's game 1 or game 2 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dude, book it, put your money on it. That's going to be a blowout. The Pittsburgh Steelers will come down to Hotlanta and get their doors blown off. Nizzo.
Yes,
Nizzo, you're my side. You're my hype man, dude. I'm calling that one. When we get to whatever, I think it's week 1 or week 2, Pittsburgh at Atlanta. No, it's week 1 because the second week Pittsburgh goes to Denver. Pittsburgh's going to start the season 0-2 because they're going to go out to Denver and lose to Sean Payton too. So book it. Bet against the Steelers week 1 and week 2. They're going to be 0-2.
Especially up above sea level where their cardio ain't going to be shit.
Yes.
Hey,
but they're going to go to Hotlanta and they're going to get housed.
The reason I did that,
Kirk Cousins is going to kill them, and Raheem Morris is going to D up whoever starts at quarterback for the Steelers.
He's proud of you.
It's a death trap. It's a trap. It's a trap for the Steelers.
Bobby, I made it big.
How, bro?
Bobby, show the shirt. I made it big.
Oh, okay. There you go. I was just going to say, Coach Paul.
What are the emotions?
He's proud of you. He's proud of you for talking, spitting facts.
Who?
See?
Angry, intrigued.
All the same faces.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, Bobby Nizzo. Hey, Brandon Toms. Hey, Brandon Toms, are you with me?
Yeah, man.
How do you feel about the Atlanta Falcons? Because you are from Gaffney, South Kakalaki.
I think he likes the Falcons, right?
Yes.
No.
No.
Nope.
He likes the Carolina Panthers.
Okay. That makes sense too.
I do agree with Paul with the Michael Penix Jr. pick.
I do too.
I think that was a good move. Everything Paul was saying, you get that 5th-year option. You know who your guy's going to be. I like it. On the flip side, I like what my team's doing over in Carolina, too. I want to see what Bryce Young's got year 2. I don't think we compete in the NFC South this year, but I think it's coming. Might be, next year or the year after that we can compete in that NFC South, which right now might be one of the worst divisions in the NFL.
Oh, yes, it is. It is.
Okay. What question, Brandon Toms, real quick. I hate to cut you off, but I got to ask this question. If the Patriots and the Giants are picking in the top 3, what do you do?
Me personally, I go edge rusher. The reason being, we lost Brian Burns, traded him to the New York Giants. We got an old Jadeveon Clowney from Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is where I'm coaching at now. So we got an old Jadeveon Clowney, and we got a DJ Wanham, who I don't think he is a top edge rusher. So I think we got to get that guy that can go get after that quarterback, pseudo a Brian Burns or a TJ Watt or somebody of that nature.
Is Coach Bald on right now? Because again, I said the Patriots, the Giants.
Not on right now.
He's not on right now. The Patriots, the Giants, and the Carolina Panthers. And the 4th team there is going to be the Raiders. So the Raiders and the Giants are going to they're the teams that are going to be fighting over Shedeur Sanders. I'm telling you right now that because they know the other team. Look, Minshew came to the Raiders because the Raiders want a top 5 quarterback. That's the reason they signed Minshew.
So here, I'll just be honest. I don't think Minshew's a bad NFL quarterback. Do I think he's a quality starter? No.
He's a better bench guy.
Do I think he can win you 5-6 games? Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
but that's all they're trying to win, dude. They're not trying. If you sign Gardner Minshew to be your starting quarterback, you're not trying to win.
And then too, if I'm the Panthers in that scenario, You remember how we traded for Bryce Young? I'm gonna pull that same move so whoever can get Shador, and I'm gonna take, a top 10 pick and a first round pick for next year. And depending on, obviously, all this depending on what Bryce Young shows, but we can get some of those picks back that we lost to the Chicago Bears, which I'm still not too thrilled about.
Okay, and again, if I like Drake May and I'm the New England Patriots and I have the first pick in the draft, I'm trading the first pick in the draft to the Cowboys. I'm taking 11 to the Patriots, and then and the Cowboys get the first pick in the draft, and I'm going to get a couple more first round picks from the Patriots because they want 11. They're going to want a guy like 11. And that's how the Patriots go from bad to good. That's how the Cowboys go from bad to good.
Yep.
They need a quarterback. They're going to let Dak walk. So get the first pick in the draft, but you got to give someone 11. Give somebody number 11. And the Patriots will take that. Oh, yeah. They will take it. Because you're not the Patriots. The Patriots won't draft a guy at number 1 better than 11 from the Dallas Cowboys, and I can never remember his name. But take the Patriots trade with the Cowboys for number 11 and a couple first round picks, and then the Patriots have 11. They have their quarterback, but the Cowboys get their quarterback, Shador Sanders, whoever's the number 1 quarterback. But that's the way it's going to go down. It's got to go down like that.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Ladies and gentlemen, the Atlanta Falcons are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be the 7 teams that make the playoffs this year, along with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. The Bucs and the Falcons will compete for the division. Kirk Cousins, I understand he's coming off an Achilles injury. That's not easy. You're not the same player coming off an Achilles injury. I like Raheem Morris. What he's done with the Rams, turn him into elite defense, and now getting another head coaching opportunity. I think 10 years ago, wasn't he the head coach of the Bucs back then? Like 10 years ago?
Yes.
With Josh something, the quarterback, Josh Freeman or something, something like that.
Josh Freeman, yep.
Josh Freeman, yeah. So, he getting a second chance. And I'm pissed at Ryan Clark, a former Hall of Famer, watching the Pivot podcast. YouTube's the best live streaming platform in America. He said that they don't have.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
Well, same thing, not a Hall of Famer, whatever. But he said that the Atlanta Falcons don't have a defense. Now they got some key guys. They got AJ Terrell. They got some 2 key defensive linemen. Look, this Atlanta Falcons defense is going to be efficient. They're going to be an efficient defense. They're going to go fast. They're going to blitz. They're going to give some teams some trouble in the NFC. Do not be surprised if the Atlanta Falcons go 10-7 this year. Do not be surprised.
Okay, that's great. Again, you sound like you've been watching Sports Center and listening to Stephen A. Smith and all the you're parroting shows that I've been watching the last few mornings. Anyway, that's a great take from other people. Anyway, so here's the deal. The Atlanta Falcons are going to be a product of their offense. Of their head coach, who's a former defense coordinator. It doesn't matter who they have, because if you look back last year, they had what's his name in with the Rams, the 99 that retired. Forget his name.
Aaron Donald.
They had Aaron Donald in a bag of potato chips, and he D'd people up. The Rams made the playoffs with a bag of chips and Aaron Donald. Okay, so Raheem Morris, but the parroting of what, first things first, or the Fox shows and stuff. Yeah, I can go on there and say exactly what they say too. That's easy. Anyway, continue.
Wow. Shots are being fired tonight. Coach Jay Freeman.
45
Gardner Minshew has got the Dirk Diggler stash. Boom goes the dynamite. Lil Weezy, Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne is a fan of the Green Bay Packers. And I guess I'll start off with the Green Bay Packers fan himself. The man from Soul.
Where do I start? I love this football team. I love the youth. I love the fact that we don't have Antonio Brown at receiver. We've got, and again, Coach Ball, he's all over this. He's all over this because he went deep in our depth chart at wide receiver the other day. And I was like, whoa, Mule. He was all over it. But yeah, they got a bunch of guys. I think, again, the bell cow, number 9, he's special. And a lot of people would want him. But they can spread the ball around. They've got good, solid tight ends. And, of course, just like the University of Iowa, they're going to have an offensive line in Green Bay. But the most important thing about in Green Bay is they took a quarterback when they didn't need one. They took Jordan Love. He sat next to his future head coach. He learned his head coach. His head coach learned him. And now the young head coach who's from the Shanahan tree is not dealing with a rock star in Aaron Rodgers, just like the man in Dallas wasn't dealing with a rock star when he inherited Aaron Rodgers until he became a rock star. Now he can actually coach this kid. And the kid is he takes coaching. Again, okay, contract is contract. But quarterbacks got to be paid as quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? He's a starting quarterback in the NFL, $50,000, $50 million. That's the going rate. So I don't want to talk about what people are making, whatever. It was just his time to get paid. And he was like, hey, I need my security, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But he's still being coached by his head coach, who is an offensive genius. The Green Bay Packers are young across the board. Offense, defense, and especially on the back end. I love Alexander at corner. He takes away half the football field. He's going to who I don't know who said this. No, it was Coach Jay Freeman. He goes, what does an elite offensive tackle like Christian Wirtz do? He eliminates, he X's out your pass rusher. Well, number 23 from the Packers, he X's out your number 1 receiver. The Green Bay Packers are ready to ascend. It's going to, and I'll coin the phrase from Coach Bald, it's going to be a knuckle fight between the Packers and the Lions because they are 2 teams that are willing to fight and they have the youth to fight. It's not one team's old and on their way out and one team's youthful and on their way in. Both teams are in their youthful / prime time thing. And they just needed Jordan Love to get on the field, number 1, and feel that he could do it. Now he knows he's the man, and he can take this team deep. And it's going to be a dogfight, knuckle fight in the NFC. What is it? North, Central, NFC North. Those 2 teams are gonna be there. Chicago, they're going to be right there with them. Give the Vikings some time, but be careful. Chicago has firepower, and they have pass rush, and they have a back end on that. They have a nasty defense. But the Packers, this is their year to ascend. This is the year for Jordan Love to really say, I'm better than Jared Goff. And that's his whole thing this year. He's just got to be better than Jared Goff because Jared Goff has just as much around him as Jordan Love. But who is going to say, I'm better than you? Mano y mano. That's what it's going to come down to.
Locked in.
Thanks, Coach Ball. Hey, wow. I get it, guys. You got, I'm me because of you guys. You guys get me fired up to do this, and I don't get to I don't get to do this talking to myself. I get to do it talking to a group of guys that know their stuff and are willing to put it on the line. But you guys know, I just want you.
Brother.
I try to do my homework whenever I can.
You're
And I'm
locked
fired
in,
up
brother.
about this league, and I love this league. So you're going to get my best when it comes to this league.
Man, I tell you, I love
A
everything
plus.
you said there.
All right, plus, A plus.
The team is they're the unsexy for some reason Detroit Lions offensively. All of their weapons, Christian Watson. Okay, Christian Watson, 14 touchdowns, 23 football games. I mean, hey, what did they used to say about the one guy? All he does is catch touchdowns. That guy is a superstar in this league. They've got two great running backs. To me, it's an upgrade getting Jacobs. I loved what they had with Aaron Jones, but Jacobs is a little bit more of a bruiser, just as good at running the ball and catching the ball out of the backfield, in my opinion. Getting Marshawn Lloyd, I believe he was out of USC, stud running back. We've known some stud running backs to come out of the University of USC, the Trojans. I love that. They got two good tight ends, Musgrave, Kraft. Those are guys that can block and they can catch the football, and then they got the smaller receivers. Both of those guys, Dobbs, Jaden Reed, those guys are some serious weapons. The thing about those guys is they're going to get just as many touches as those guys for the Lions do. I think Green Bay has the edge in defense, and I don't think Green Bay will need to score as many points in most games that Detroit will. That's the only thing that I, kind of downgrade them if I had to at all. But Love I definitely see Love being top 10. He could jump up into that top 5, man. He could have a big time season this year. The Green Bay Packers, all of their skill guys, in my opinion, are definitely they're definitely under the radar. Watson could be a guy that jumps up and ends up being a top 5 receiver. The guy's 6'4", 210, runs a 4.35, and like I say, 14 touchdowns in 23 games. That doesn't happen by accident. All he has to do is stay on the field, remain healthy. Coach Goat, whose jersey are you wearing? Show our rabid fan base here. Totem Pole Nation, the GOAT is in charge tonight. What do you think about that?
7 rings.
So please read them if you could.
7 rings.
Well, there's a lot of comments. Coach Jay Freeman is being Coach Freeman. He's killing it tonight. Coach Jay Freeman, you need to get on here. We need your expertise.
Get in here, Coach Freeman. I agree. Get in
here. We need to get you in here, man. But I want to hear what Brandon Toms thinks about the Green Bay Packers. Are there any picks on the Green Bay Packers that people need to draft in their fantasy football, NFL fantasy football, the Green Bay Packers NFL fantasy football this season, 2024?
Those big guys. Watson, you got to take, like Coach Ball was saying, all he does is catch touchdowns. You got to take a chance on him, especially if you can get him, 3rd, 4th round, if he's still available. Running back, obviously, can go Josh Jacobs. They had a good system there with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. So definitely take their running back. Jordan Love is a solid fantasy quarterback. It might not be your starter, but could be your backup, depending on who you get for your starter. But Jordan Love is a very solid fantasy quarterback. Matter of fact, I had him last year. Made sure to start him towards the end of the year when he got hot. He's going to go on runs. Definitely could use him for 3-4 weeks in a row when he's hot like that. Christian Watson, also really good ball player, catches touchdowns, gets you a lot of fantasy points. Those 3 guys that definitely think you gotta take a chance on, but also don't sleep on their defense either. Their defense is really solid with Keyshawn Nixon on their back end. Some of their D linemen are really solid players. They get after it over there on defense. So defense is not a bad pick either.
Amen.
Lambo, what do you think about Green Bay Packers?
The Green Bay Packers.
Coach Paul holding it down.
The Green Bay Packers will represent this year's NFC Championship game. It will be the rematch of the divisional round. It will be the San Francisco 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. I told y'all about Jordan Love last year. Now y'all starting to listen when I told y'all about Jordan Love. Jordan Love is great. That's a guy, one of my fantasy, not as, number one, but on a bench guy. You'll take other quarterbacks over Jordan Love. I like that they brought in Josh Jacobs, a former league rusher. The Raiders let him go. I think the run game for the Green Bay Packers is going to be very explosive. I like Matt LaFleur, a former offensive coordinator for Tennessee. What he did under Tannehill and whatever, he is great. Look, I got a lot of high hopes for these Green Bay Packers. I love Lambeau Field. I love the Cheeseheads, EA Sports, Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25. These Green Bay Packers are going to do something special. Do not be surprised. There were a couple plays away from going to the NFC Championship game. They will learn their lesson. Jordan Love will get better with the wide receivers. I will also take Christian Watson as a number one, number two wide receiver on fantasy, or you could put it as a flex, whatever you want him to do. But do not be surprised if they get to the NFC Championship game, because I'm putting the money on Jordan Love. Whatever the spread is for how many wins you're going to get, do not be surprised if the Green Bay Packers go 12-5 and the Detroit Lions go 11-6. Bobby Nizzo, what do you think about the Green Bay Packers, the Lambeau Field, EA Sports, Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25?
I like that team a lot, actually. Green Bay. Yeah, I like that team a lot. I can't say more than Coach Ball than Coach Paul already said, and you said.
Look up here, Bobby.
I can't
Look
talk.
who's up here. Look who's on the screen. LeBron James.
Sellout.
LeBron
Go
James.
say hi to your bosses in China.
LeBron James is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Coach Bald, you have a 90% winning percentage in fantasy football. Totem Pole Nation has a 90% subscription rate. Out of our 128,000 subscribers, 90% of our viewers are subscribers. Like the stream. LeBron James, Dallas Cowboys, Coach Bald, and your professional fantasy opinion. Who on the NFL Dallas Cowboys do Totem Pole Nation need to be looking at to draft in their NFL Fantasy 2024 drafts coming up very soon?
I tell you what, probably after about week 6 of fantasy football, you would find it harder to draft a better player than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott went on probably a 4 to 5 game tear where he had at least 300 yards and 3 to 4 touchdowns. He went on a tear. That would be somebody that I would pick, late round. I would say 9, 8. Like, you don't want to jump on quarterback. You do not want to pick your quarterback in the first round at all. CeeDee Lamb, if he's there and you're picking after 5, if he's there, you take him. CeeDee Lamb could absolutely be the top fantasy wide receiver. I was blessed last season to have both of those guys. I had both CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And, man, I tell you what, when you can get a combination where you get the wide receiver and the quarterback, it is unbelievable the points that you can put up. But also, guys that kind of slide under the radar, man, Zeke is back in Dallas. And what that guarantees some touchdown opportunities. That was the big piece of the Cowboys puzzle that they did not have last year. They did not have a guy that could punch in the football in the red zone. It hurt them. It might be why they didn't get too far in the playoffs. Jake Ferguson, the tight end, man, I like him. I definitely like the tight end, Jake Ferguson. He's definitely one that you don't have to reach on. He's not a top 5 guy, but he's going to get you points because the Cowboys, they tend to get into a lot of shootouts there, especially when they're playing at home. You know, that's another thing. Whenever the Cowboys are playing at home, you probably want to start those guys. They just play a lot better when they're at home. When they go on the road, I don't know what it is. Maybe that home cooking the other place, but definitely a team that you want to fade when they're on the road. The defense, I mean, they arguably got one of the best defensive ends in pro football. You know, he's a stud there with Dallas. So maybe if they're playing the New York Giants, or they're playing the Washington Commanders, or they're playing, Brandon Tom's Carolina Panthers, you're going to want to start the Dallas Cowboys defense for those weeks. Brandon Cooks is another guy that, he scored a few touchdowns for him last year, but not a guy that I would pick. Those are the top tier guys. I go CD Lamb without a doubt. Dak Prescott is definitely a guy that could be there after, Josh Allen's gone, after Pat Mahomes is gone, after Aaron Rodgers is gone, after Brock Purdy is gone. You could see Dak Prescott there, and he's going to get you some points, man, especially if they're playing at home. So those are your top 2 guys. And like I said, Zeke could have a huge season. I definitely see him have double-digit touchdowns. What do you have to say about the Dallas Cowboys, LeBron James, the LA Lakers' favorite team, your best friend's favorite team, Lambeau? And Lambeau, let me ask you this. Is it true that you were not only named but also conceived on Lambeau Field?
I am conceived on Lambeau Field. EA Sports Electronic Arts.
What does that mean, Lambeau, to be conceived on Lambeau Field?
It's just my name. I don't have a definition right
Yes,
now.
but what does it mean to actually be conceived on Lambeau Field?
Be born on the frozen tundra.
I'm an owner. I'm born on that field. I was born on that field.
Well, conceived and being born, you're conceived before you're born. The moment of conception, immaculate conception, and the immaculate reception. Yes, it was an accurate conception.
Well, whatever it is what it is. I'm just grateful.
Yes, it is.
But
it is.
I'll tell you about the Dallas Cowboys. The man from Soul, said it best about the Dallas Cowboys. He said
you're killing me.
The man from Soul said it best about the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna break that. The Dallas Cowboys are gonna break that team up. No more Dak Prescott. No more Michael Parsons. And CD Lamb holding out of camp. Are they gonna give him that contract? Don't know. Probably not. Look, this is so easy for me because I'm the biggest Cowboys hater in America. We know Dak Prescott. We know that Dak Prescott is great in the regular season. I'm watching
Muay Thai. People getting knocked.
We know that for a fact. They're great in the regular season. But when it comes to the playoffs, they can't do jack. And they will do the same thing they did last year. They will lose to the Green Bay Packers. They will lose probably to the Detroit Lions. They will lose to any team in the NFC because when it comes to the competition of the Dallas Cowboys, they beat up on teams below 500 and teams against competition that have been in the playoffs or above 500 they can't beat. Look, Mike McCarthy is calling the plays. They got Ezekiel Elliott. He's an older running back. Ezekiel Elliott is not the same running back he was when he came out of Ohio State. They are wide receiver dependent. CeeDee Lamb is the number 1 wide receiver. I will pick him on fantasy. That's fine. I'll pick Dak Prescott on fantasy as well for the regular season. Not for the playoffs, I'm not picking him because I'm going to take Brock Purdy and Jordan Love over Dak Prescott when it comes to the playoffs. Look, the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, will no longer be living on this earth for the next 5 years. No disrespect to Jerry. Jerry, I love you. I appreciate what you've done for the Dallas Cowboys. But the Dallas Cowboys do not deserve to be America's team. They do not deserve to be America's team if you have not been to the NFC Championship game since 1995. The Dallas Cowboys, as long as I live, I am 25. if I live talking about 105, they will never win the Super Bowl on my watch. I will stop anything. I will do anything as possible for the Cowboys to never win a Super Bowl because, like I said, they always have talent, and we get tired of hearing excuses of why they can't win. They always have a talented team. They always have a talented defense, and at the end of the day, I'm trusting Jordan Love and Brock Purdy, the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, to beat those Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys are done. The man from Soul
We have a
playing
question.
Emotion. How do you feel?
We have a question. It's Jar Flies. Jar Flies. This is for you, Jar Flies. And I got Patsy's Pizzeria's logo up there. We love Patsy's Pizzeria. Flies, settle the debate for me. Who are you taking, Amon St. Ra or Jamar Chase, Brandon Toms, man from Football City, USA?
Ooh.
So this is a legit debate, in my opinion, but it's gonna depend on which Jamar Chase shows up.
Ooh.
I love Ramon St. Brown's
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I love his attitude, and I love his effort, and I love his willingness to do whatever it takes for his team to win, and whatever it takes for him to make plays to help his team win. I love that about him. Bigger star, Jamar Chase. Better football player. It's a toss-up for me. Personally, I'm a big guy. Like, I'm not going to coach attitude and effort, and St. Brown has both of those. I wouldn't have to coach either one with him. So, in my opinion, if I was the coach, I'm taking St. Brown over Jamar Chase, and the only reason being his attitude, his effort, and his willingness to help us win, not who has the more star power when it comes to making plays as a receiver.
Jar Fly says, I personally say Amon-Ra St. Brown, bro. He's more consistent and underrated as blank. Jar Fly says, oh, heck yeah, I rock with y'all. Y'all know the game. This is the low man on the totem pole, Jar of Flies. Welcome to the family.
Salute, Jar of Flies. I like
One
that
more
name.
thing.
Dave Freeman says, if you want to watch Lambeau from Totem Pole Nation hate on these Cowboys, check it out. I'm worried. I'm wondering what Mr. Packer down here is thinking. What is the man from Seoul thinking about the Dallas Cowboys? All right, LeBron James, Mr. China, Mr. Girl dad at the volleyball games, Cowboys fan, or LeBron. What do you think about LeBron, and who are you taking? Amon-Ra St. Brown, or are you taking Jamar Chase, man from Seoul?
Man, I tell you what, your boy Brendan Toms, man, he sometimes he doesn't know what he's doing. But man, he is spot on right now. Look, I'm a big Jamar Chase guy, and I know he is too because the dude is a dog. But you know what, sir? It's all about time and the situation. He's in a contract situation. St. Brown got his bag. St. Brown's going to play. Jamar Chase, they're still. Paul Brown, the Bengals they do things a little weird up there. They paid Burrow and they got a guy on a franchise tag. This is a recipe for disaster in Cincinnati. And again, Jamar Chase can be the guy that just says, I don't care. But a lot of receivers, guys, they care. They want that security. So if I'm voting today, I'm going with Brandon Toms. I'll take the guy in Detroit because he's got security and he's going to play. He's just going to play. He's a player, But Jamar Chase wants to know that I'm secure, and that changes the dynamic of the way you play. I mean, but I ain't gonna take anything away from Jamar Chase. He's a dog, and he is a bona fide baller, straight baller. But it's a little bit different because it's a contract situation. Bobby
Nizzo, how do you feel about the Cowboys? How do you think about Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jamar Chase?
I like Chase. I've talked enough shit about the Cowboys in my life.
Come on, Bobby. Come on now.
I got
I always hate on those Dallas Cowboys fans because
he's
they're
working
the most
on being
fans in America.
Lambo. He is working on being the art of humbleness. Okay, he's already ran up a 10-year-old tonight.
Yeah,
all right, and that is what was the guy's name that said he quits because somebody was cussing? They accused someone of cussing. I think it's Liam Plays Games.
Welcome to the real world. Cussing. Bobby, tell him. Welcome
I never once told a grown adult, Coach Bald, for them to watch their language. When did these kids start getting so offended by everything? Coach Bald, what is going on, Coach Bald? Preach. Because I'm getting ready to show you that was the art of humbleness. Now this is the art of perfection. Look at that thing in the middle. Woo!
Jennifer Lopez. Woo!
New York Jets, Jennifer Lopez. Man, look at that thing. What do you think?
She has that ass. She has those ass cheeks insured.
That's love don't cost a thing. I would like to find out. Jar of Flies. It's not all of us, bro. I'm 22 years old and work full time to provide. But yeah, I see your point. Yeah, Jar of Flies. I totally agree, bro. We had a 10-year-old come in here and tell Bobby Nizzo to watch his language, that he was offended. And he basically told him to take a hike in a very nice way. So, Coach Bald, how do you feel about the Jets? How do you feel about J-Lo? Love don't cost a thing.
We did the Jets already, man.
Yes, we did.
You know what? My thought process on the Jets is just like Ben Affleck's with J-Lo. We're getting divorced. We are getting divorced. I want nothing to do with the NFL, New York Football Giants. I believe me, Bobby Nizzo, and Lambo can all agree Jets suck.
But I like Aaron Rodgers, though.
Who's next?
I like Aaron Rodgers.
And we got Barack Obama, Joe Biden,
Chicago,
the CIA, what's her name? Kamala Harris, and the Barack Obama and Donald Trump Chicago Bears. Rebecca Litchell. Rebecca, we are the only live streamers that you are allowed to watch for now. Until you're not allowed to watch us anymore, Liam Plays Games has totally quit the channel. He was offended because he heard a cuss word come from someone's mouth, and he was pointing at it.
Can I start off with the Chicago Bears?
He blamed a guy wearing a blue hoodie and a blue totem pole hat for saying a cuss word. And he said, I'm not going to let you accuse me of doing something I didn't do. That was the words. That was the words that came out of his mouth. I got another one for y'all. Prime Luke Kuechly or prime Brian Urlacher. I'm taking Luke.
Oh, wait. I like both linebackers, and I'm going to get to the Bears. I'm going to answer this question. Man. Whew. I like old school.
Hold on, I'm distracting Lambo with the J-Lo picture up there. Hold on.
I like
things straight.
No, put that back up. You ain't distracting me. Put that back up. Put that back up.
Rebecca Litchell.
All right,
Troy.
I'm taking
Troy.
Yes.
Take it down.
Yeah, take it down.
This guy can't even close at the Waffle House.
Oh,
take it down.
Oh gosh.
Take it down.
Take it down.
Take it down.
I forgot about Rebecca.
I'm taking Brian.
This
Urlacher.
guy can't even close at the Waffle House. Wow.
Oh, man,
That's not
dude.
my fault.
That's a
It's not
liver
my
shot.
fault.
That's a
not my
liver shot.
Lambo,
That's not
Lambo.
my
Now
fault.
you got to dig
Hey,
deep.
Bobby
brother.
Nizzo.
Dig deep.
Was that a
Yo.
low blow, Bobby
That's
Nizzo?
not my fault.
No, it's not a low blow. It's Coach Paul. It's Coach Paul motivating his Padawan learner.
It's Padawan. Yes, Sensei. The tape speaks for itself. Luke never got
Lambo.
shook out of his shoes by Tom Brady.
I know you got
Just
that.
saying.
I
What do
know
you think?
You can do it, Lambo. I know you can do it.
So I'm taking prime Brian Urlacher over Luke Kuechly. I like both linebackers, but Brian Urlacher just brought something special, and we know that the Bears defense has always been great, especially with Lovie Smith being the head coach back then, and they had multiple coaches before that, John Fox, and the list goes on and on. Look, the Chicago Bears will be third or last in the division. I think they'll be 8-9. I think Chicago Bears will win 8 games with Caleb Williams at quarterback. Got Keenan Allen. You got a great wide receiver in Roma Dunze. And look, I don't like that Matt Eberflus is still there, but they got a great defense, and their defense wasn't.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
They looked
Sorry.
good last night.
How many games are the Bears going to win?
8 games.
How many games are the Patriots going to win?
8 games.
6.
Okay. Continue.
All right. Well, they're going to have the same record regardless. I've already said it. I ain't going to repeat it. But when it comes to Chicago Bears, look, I like what Ryan Poles GM is doing, bringing that talent around Caleb Williams. We'll see how efficient it's going to be. Look, I know the back half of their schedule is going to be a little bit tough. The reason why I say they're going to be third last because I think the Vikings, despite Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy, they could be up there. They could tie. We'll see. Whoever has the same record or somewhat similar. But what I like about Chicago Bears is that defense. Will the offense improve? Yes. I think Matt Eberflus keeps his job for one more year. Give me the Chicago Bears sitting right now at 8-9. Bobby Izzo, how do you feel about the Chicago Bears and the number 1 pick out of USC, Caleb Williams?
His name's Nizzo. He's not H to the Izzo. He's Nizzo.
Yeah, don't ever mistake me with Jay-Z.
Yeah, that's right. He's Nizzo.
It's all right though. Listen, I think Chicago. We're talking about Chicago, right? The Bears.
Yeah, Chicago
the Bears, right? I thought they looked really good last night, and
Hey.
they didn't even start that guy. They didn't even start their number 1 quarterback. Go ahead, so you're good.
Yeah.
Someone just hey.
No, that was me, Nizzo. Look,
okay.
Nizzo.
What's the
looked good last
question
night.
now?
They looked good last night.
Yo, Nizzo.
Yeah.
This is okay. We're going back to our betting show. Listen, the game got suspended. I got totally hosed because I was on the Bears, and I got the void.
Well, you know why? Because you didn't go to a bookie.
I know.
3 quarters into the 4th quarter, it's a live game. No matter what happens.
Yeah, but I got screwed. Anyway, yeah. So congratulations, Mr. Nizzo. You owe me a pepperoni pizza with mushrooms.
I got you, brother.
All right.
I got you.
Hey, we got Rebecca Littrell said, can you please put the mask on? And this is not a mask. I have earned this look over 87 years of my life. I'm Coach.
Hey, go!
The guy with the red beard. The guy with the red beard is a young, up-and-coming whippersnapper who's friends with Coach Troy Taylor and coached for my great friend down at Dinwiddie High School, the Generals, Coach Billy Mills. He is a young Billy Mills, and his name is Coach Brandon Toms from Gaffney, South Carolina. My great friend Troy Taylor's friend, and he will follow in Troy Taylor's footsteps and get fired just like Troy Taylor has many times. Matt Davis says the Bears quarterback going to be average at best. Matt Davis, I think they should have kept Tyson Baggett from Shepherd University as the quarterback. Now, let me ask the Lieutenant Colonel. Lieutenant Colonel Dan, a.k.a. Lieutenant Colonel Gomer Powell. What is this deal with you and Lambeau headbutting your fist in the backyard down there in Matoka, Virginia? Are you going to put a whooping on that young whippersnapper?
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
I think that was the greatest comedy I've ever seen, Silence of the Lambs. I watched that when I won a good laugh. That and Cocaine Bear. Two excellent funny movies. Lambeau, are you going to let him say that about you? Now, Lambeau, you did not show up yesterday, and I was very disappointed. Somebody said that you was hanging out with that Virginia Tech cheerleader. Jar Flies, Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees? Give me Drew. Now, the one thing I don't like about Drew is how he used to have a birthmark. He got his birthmark taken off. He doesn't have any hair in 2000 when he played for Purdue. Then all of a sudden, he's got hair like Joe Buck. So give me the guy that likes ayahuasca. Give me Aaron Rodgers. Now, Bobby Nizzo, my friend from New England.
Hello, sir.
Thank you for your service to America. And all the years that you worked for the Sandhogs. Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees? Who are you taking, Bobby Nizzo?
I think the hooks fell off the doors.
I go with Breeze.
He's going with Drew Brees. Does it affect you at all that he got his birthmark removed and he got hair plugs?
Nope. Doesn't affect me at all.
Lambeau, are you going with Drew Brees or are you going with Aaron Rodgers?
I don't want to jinx Aaron Rodgers.
Drew Brees. I am taking Drew Brees.
Wow.
Quarterback out of Purdue. He's great. I like Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers will be better than Drew Brees by the end of his career. But I mean, right now, if you're giving me a straight answer, I'm going to take Drew Brees.
Well, Paul, would you like to school up this young whippersnapper about Drew Brees and the Aaron Rodgers argument? Jar Fly says, give me Drew. If Drew was any good, he would still be in the NFL, wouldn't he?
That's true.
Well, here's the deal. Look, man. I told you I'm going to be quiet about the guy that resides in MetLife Stadium, the New York Jets.
North Jersey.
Yeah, North Jersey, the swamps of Jersey.
Yep.
The swamps of Jersey. Listen, Aaron freaking Rodgers. He's a bad man.
He is.
Look. I mean, look. Drew Brees, he won a Super Bowl. Won. It was a perfect storm. He won it with his head coach.
He could not win. Drew Brees could not win without Sean Payton.
He could have won it without a circus of events. Let's not forget that Super Bowl. Peyton Manning onside kick, INT return for a touchdown. There was a lot of stuff. Now, if Drew Brees had lost that game and Peyton Manning wins the Super Bowl, what are we talking about with Drew Brees? Like, Drew Brees is not a scrub. Drew Brees is better than, again, I think he's a Hall of Famer too. The guy down in San Diego.
Philip Rivers, who's a quality
Phillip.
human being, and he has enough
Philly.
children to have a complete football team with 2 subs.
Correct. Philly Phil. Listen, Aaron Rodgers.
He does not believe in using prophylactics.
He doesn't. But you know what he believes in? Being a damn Army sniper. Be careful. Watch. Just watch. There's nothing to say.
Coach Jay Freeman, get him up. Coach Old School's back. Call the FCC. That's another $20 for Jay Freeman. Throwing around them 20s just like Lambeau used to do in the strip club. Now, Coach Ball, you like strip clubs.
Wait. Lambeau used to go where and do what?
Lambeau used to go to strip clubs just like Coach Bald in his younger days. And Coach Bald, Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers.
But he can't close at a Waffle House?
Well, we might go back to the Waffle House Saturday night, and you might teach him a thing or two. He's just a young whippersnapper. It all triggered Squeeze and Breathing Paul, you know? What do you think, Coach Paul?
You know, I got to go with Drew Brees on that, okay? The New Orleans Saints have always been known as a team that has they never won anything until Drew Brees got there. Drew Brees took that place over when they needed it more than anything. When they had Hurricane Katrina, Drew Brees took over that town. He changed the game of football. He was a 6-foot-tall quarterback, probably the first 6-foot-tall quarterback to make the impact that he did. He brought a championship to a team that never sniffed playoff games back in the day. Playoffs. I mean, seriously, Drew Brees is the man. How many Super Bowls does Aaron Rodgers have? Oh, yeah, the same amount. He has the same number. Aaron Rodgers is basically, in my opinion, he's if Jeff George and Eli Manning had a baby together. Okay.
Wow.
Got that rocket arm, but the dude, he's 40. He's 40 years old. He's done. When was the last time Aaron Rodgers did anything? When did he put a team on his back and win a meaningful game? It wasn't last season. Maybe the season before, or did he have a toe injury? I don't know. I don't know all the Aaron Rodgers hype, but I don't believe it. He is getting New York Jets. What happened when he came out there carrying the American flag? 3 plays later, his season was done. So are the New York Football Jets. They are done. It is not Jeff Manning running out there with that flag. No, it is Jeff George, and it is Eli Manning's illegitimate love baby. Aaron
Rebecca Littrell said, I'm in Brooklyn, Texas.
Cody smoking, wherever the heck he just went on some weird trip. Aaron Rodgers is weird. Go, Coach. Go, Coach.
What happens when he gets a low hit this season, too, in the early season? What happens to his knees?
Where has Drew Brees been since he got his hair plugs and went on TV and he sucked and he got fired after 1 year? Where's Drew Brees been with his hole that's been cut off his face? Rebecca Littrell, I'm in Brooklyn, Texas right now for my birthday. My birthday is August 6th. Happy birthday, Rebecca. I didn't know I had a birthday till I was 10. Coach Jay Freeman.
Coach Troy, too, coming
up.
Put
the old man up there. Can we put the old man up there?
Coach Taylor had to show me how to run this thing.
No, put the old man up there. There he is. Tell him, Coach Old School.
Coach
Tell him, give
J3 is
him
the
hell.
St. Pete Rejuvenate. Bald's on fire. And here's an ice cream for you.
Oh,
And here is the next one is the Minnesota Vikings with this guy, Nick Swartzen. Who is Nick Swartzen? Mr. Beast? Doesn't look much like a beast to me. Looks like he likes some young like Bill Belichick and Drake. That's the Buccaneers. Then I know Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, he's a ladies' man. I know, and he is. If you want to learn how to talk to a lawyer, watch Johnny Depp talk to the lawyers when that woman tried to take his money. The Cuban assassin, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Cuban assassin Fidel Sierra. Thank you for coming on. What are you feeling right now? Are you ready to fight someone? Because I need you to beat up a guy named Smitty517 that's been talking junk to my friend.
Muted.
Can't hear you.
He's muted. He's muted.
Hear you, fella.
Coach Ball, let the Cuban assassin know that he is muted. I do not speak Spanish.
You don't have to speak Spanish. You have to speak Cuban. Okay, there's a difference there, Coach. We can't hear you, Del.
Yoel Romero and
Can you hear me now?
Chocolito.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Hey,
Cuban
listen.
assassin.
You know what it is? I'm in Cuba. The storms around Cuba, and you know everything's just flying around. So, listen. What I want to tell you is, y'all want to hear some football stories from me?
Yes.
You want to hear who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
Yes.
God Almighty, the Buccaneers.
What?
That's
Mr.
my pick.
Beast's
Buccaneers all
team.
the way. You know, I can't go with the the Minnesota Vikings. I like. I'm a Buccaneers all the way.
Cuban assassin. Do you know the man named Chocolito?
Chocolito. No, I don't know Chocolito.
Only one of the best boxers out of Cuba ever. Maybe in the whole world, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
and what's
sir.
his name?
Chocolito.
Chocolino. Coño, man.
Chocolito. Chocolito.
Chocolino, that's new for me. But so what's going on
our time? A little before our time.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
See, I'm only 48, so that's what happened when you're young like me.
Yeah, I'm 53. So I feel you, brother.
Yeah.
So you know Yoel Romero, though, right?
The name sounds very familiar.
UFC, Bellator.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Okay. He's a freak of nature, that dude.
Yeah, he's a
just
badass,
like you.
bro.
Just like you, brother.
He's a badass.
Them Cuban, all Cubans are badasses.
No, yeah, you can say that again, but
I agree.
But so I just wanted to jump on, say hello to you guys, and I always love,
we appreciate it,
Coach Bald, and all you and everybody, and it's great. I've got some stuff coming up soon, but can't wait to go to CAC coming up here in a couple of weeks in Las Vegas, and
nice,
and enjoy all that, and hopefully Coach Bald will make it, and
I think he will.
And his better half.
Fidel, tell them about St. Pete Rejuvenate, how they help change your life,
St. Pete Rejuvenate, brother. They're the best. They saved my ass.
I seen that podcast with you on there. I'm really happy for you,
bro. I was in bad, hurting real bad. Had all kind of stupid things going through my mind, and I went and got my ketamine done by St. Pete Rejuvenate, and
Amen.
it was really done so good, and I feel even to this day I don't hurt as bad as I did, and I really can't say nothing bad about St. Pete Rejuvenate. In the way I was treated first class there.
Yeah, amen. I'm very lucky to go places with him, and we'll meet a lot of his brothers, and so many of them are just dealing with such pain, and they don't have to tell you. You can see it in the way they walk and the way they look that they're dealing with some serious pain issues. And to be able to just take a little bit off the edge for him so he could live a better life, it just means everything, man. That's why we do what we do.
I would say it took over 60% of the pain away, or maybe even a little bit more.
And taking that edge off, and that's a lot. That's a lot.
For somebody who, for over 40 years, I flipped around, jumped around, got thrown over the top rope to the floor without no paddings on it like there is these days, and hit cement floors, hit ring post, and suplex by Andre the Giant.
Yeah, you guys definitely take a beating, no doubt about it.
Hey, Fidel, Fidel, let me ask you this: if Ric Flair wanted it one more time, you think you could step in the ring with Nature Boy?
Man, I love the Nature Boy. I had many great battles with him. He couldn't last with me right now.
Woo! Like it.
And believe me, with all due respect, he is a legendary icon in this professional wrestling business. But I am a legend in this business, and we did our hour draws, and I've pinned him and all that. But I know that if we stepped in, he couldn't hang with me today.
I love it. I love it, man. I love that confidence, man.
Yeah, you got to have it, bro. And I got
it's the only way
coming up. I got tag match coming up. Yeah, they ain't bragging if you can back it up. Such fantasy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes.
And you're wrestling.
Yeah.
Really good to hear.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you guys for having me these few minutes. I love you guys.
Thank you, man.
Nation is kicking ass. They say kicking ass and taking names. The Total Nation is taking all kinds of names and kicking all kind of ass.
Yes.
That's what I love about y'all.
We love you, man.
All right, y'all.
We love you. Respect.
Bye-bye.
Respect.
Thank you, brother. David Carrillo says, I'm 29 and raised a Raider, and I just want to say I'm unloading a diabolical
deuce. A deuce?
A what?
He's releasing Gotti.
All right, Coach Freeman. You're awesome. Love your
Is he still awake? I'm 29 and born and raised a Raider, and I just want to say I'm unloading.
Get the demons out.
I'm 29. I'm raised a Raider, and I just want to say I'm unloading a diabolical dookie right now. I think so is Cuban.
He's taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
It was the dose. It was the dose. Not a deuce, a dose. Anyways, let's go 2025 AFC West Division Champs Raiders. Cuban Assassin, you're awesome. Your fans love you. Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. And looking at our list, Nick Swartzen. I don't even know who Nick Swartzen is, but he's a Minnesota Viking fan. We have Mr. Beast is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. We have Johnny Depp, who is a Miami Dolphins fan. Coach Bald, do you even know who Nick Swartzen is? And how do you feel about the Minnesota Vikings this year in fantasy football?
I am not familiar with him. Justin Jefferson, he's going to be on everybody's radar. He's a generational talent at wide receiver, man. The guy just has range. He has hops. He has soft hands. He's a physical receiver. I love that guy. Anywhere in the top 10, There's a few guys I like a little bit more, but the Vikings are a team that could be struggling and need to throw the ball a lot more. So it could be him that's getting targeted a lot. Aaron Jones is a running back there, very fast wide receiver, very fast running back. They got Addison back. He's another good receiver. I like the tight end though. The tight end, former Detroit Lion, T.J. Hawkinson. He's a beast at that tight end position. He's definitely a guy that's entering his prime. I want to say he's 27 years old. Hopefully, he's going to have some good cohesiveness with J.J. McCarthy. But I think a lot of their players are going to depend on what McCarthy can do. He was, I don't know if he was limited at Michigan, but they just had so many good skill players that he didn't just have to sit back there and beat people with his arm. It's going to be interesting to see what the Minnesota Vikings do this season. They do have a new quarterback they're going to be bringing in. I think a lot of it's just going to have to be on him. Their defense, nothing really stands out to me that says, that they have a great defense. They're in a tough division. Anytime you have to go against the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, 4 games, you're gonna have a tough run against those guys. It's going to be interesting to see what Chicago does this year. But yeah, Jefferson is definitely a guy I see in the top 10. The next guy that I would look into picking would definitely be T.J. Hawkinson, and then Aaron Jones. If he's anywhere in that 7th or 8th round area, he could have a lot of value because he is a every down back and definitely a dual threat to catch passes out of the backfield. That's my 2 cents on the Vikings. What do you think about that, Lambo? I know you're a big McCarthy fan. What do you think about the Minnesota Vikings and Jefferson coming back?
Who ain't got his jersey?
Well,
Is that a
Jefferson-
Purple people eaters.
Oh,
I would tell you
Wow.
something. I would tell you something about the Minnesota Vikings. Like I said, the 3rd or last place or whatever, it's going to come down to the Bears and the Vikings. Look, Kevin O'Connell's a great coach, and despite the injuries they had last year, whatever, they still won with multiple quarterbacks, Josh Dobbs and whatever. Look, J.J. McCarthy might start by week 8. Sam Darnold's going to be your week 1 starter. You got Justin Jefferson at the wide receiver position. Look, don't be surprised if the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings had the same record, 8-9, whatever it is. But look, the Vikings, they got a run game now. They got a running back now. Madison last year wasn't a much of an option. But I'm not saying all the problems have been fixed because defensively they're not great at all defensively. But I think the Minnesota Vikings will improve so much from last year. But give me the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears to have somewhat of the same record this year. Bobby, what do you think about the Minnesota Vikings?
I like the Minnesota Vikings, but I like Chicago a little bit better, and I believe it's going to be probably Green Bay. Probably Green Bay. I don't have much faith in Minnesota this year. I just think they're average. I don't think they're great. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want to shit on them. You know what I mean? I don't want to call them all bad names and stuff. So, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. What about what does Paul think? He went into his closet and got the Minnesota Vikings. Is that a Nike jersey that you got there, Paul?
I think that's sponsored by Nike.
That's a Reebok. That was a sweet jersey. That's a Favre. A Brett Favre Minnesota Vikings jersey.
That is a good jersey.
How do you feel about the Vikings, Paul?
Paul, school me, brother, please.
No, you're spot on. There's nothing to see here, folks.
I didn't think so. No.
There's nothing to see here. They're the Steelers of that division. They're last place. They're again, and they got a young quarterback. McCarthy, he's 21 years old, man. He don't need to see the field. Now build your plan, develop your plan on how you got your guy, because McCarthy's going to be your guy, but build the team around him and his contract. That's all this is about in Minnesota. They're not competing for nothing. You know what they should be competing for? Picking in the top 5 with the Patriots. That's
drop
it.
Picks. Yeah, drop picks.
Yeah, that's it.
I agree.
Kind of
Couple
stings.
players away.
That.
They're
Lambo,
a couple years away, a couple players away.
Yep.
And again, signing Jefferson was huge because he's a huge trade chip. He's a huge he's an asset.
Definitely an asset.
Like Troy, you said, they don't care about them. They don't care about us. They don't care about the players. Dude, sign him to a big deal. Someone will take on that contract if they really need to. If they really just like when the Dolphins took Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs, dude, that contract is just a-okay. If someone just like Jalen Ramsey, someone will trade for Jefferson and give the Vikings a boatload. Yeah, you keep him on the roster. When he gets disgruntled, trade him. I mean, they're building something, man. They're starting over.
Lambo, you got any thoughts about the Vikings?
I already went.
Thank you very much for answering. Coach Bald, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Is that who we're going with? And who's the fan of us?
Mr. Beast
is a fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hold on. The same Mr. Beast that you went to go visit?
Yep.
Yes. The guy who likes him young. And he'll be in Cell Block 1 next to Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about and why can't you put him in why can't you put him in CB4?
Well, CB4 was for Chris Rock, and Cell Block 1 rhymes with Like 'em Young. And Kendrick Lamar is the lyricist. He's a lyricist, and he could go to Lyricist Lounge at any time. Bobby Nizzo, Coach Bald, Mr. B, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hey, Tampa Bay. Well, you guys talked about it already, but they have, in my opinion, the most selfless wide receiver core. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, both of those guys, big-time receivers, big studs, not we guys. They are we guys. They want to win. And
did Coach Ball not pay his cricket wireless?
He didn't pay that.
Lambo, what do you think about Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay is going to go up there. They're going to be first, and then Atlanta Falcons going to be second. But look, Mike Evans, still got Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield. They lost the offensive coordinator. He's the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. I like Todd Bowles and that great defense. I think one of the cornerbacks is the highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL. Look, in that weak NFC South, the Buccaneers are going to win the division. They got, unselfish guys on that team. Baker Mayfield got his money. He got his bag. Look, I like what the Bucs are doing with the structure. Without Tom Brady, retiring, they made it to the playoffs. They beat the Eagles team. They were a couple plays away from beating the Lions last year. So, look, I like what Todd Bowles is doing. Bruce Arians stepping down a couple years back. Now Todd Bowles is taking over. Look, the Buccaneers are going to be a playoff team. Man from Seoul, what do you think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Solid across all fronts. I mean, it's a solid football team. I mean, I like the resurrection of Baker Mayfield at quarterback. The receivers, again, just selfless servants at the receiver position. Again, I Tampa Bay could be a sneaky pick for the Super Bowl. And people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
No.
They have all the components but it has to all come together.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but if they make it, I won't be surprised because they're well, we don't have the quarterback, but he's serviceable. We don't have but they don't have the star quarterback, but they're good everywhere else.
Yeah.
Left tackle, pass rush, stop the run, can run the football, good back end. You know, they just got all the components, but they're not sexy. It's not a
We need
sexy
Coach Jay
team.
Freeman. We need Coach Jay Freeman to come on here, man.
Get
What do
in
you
here,
think?
Coach Freeman.
Bobby, what do you think about the Bucs?
Solid team. And like
Yep.
Coach Paul said, I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak in there either. It wouldn't surprise me in the least. Honestly, solid team.
All right, so I think the next team, if I can see the full,
The
full
Dolphins.
screen. All right, next, the Dolphins. Johnny Depp is a Dolphins fan. Man from Seoul, I'm going to start with you with the Miami Dolphins. What is the expectations of the Miami Dolphins? Mike McDaniel's third year, Tua getting the bag. What is the Miami Dolphins season going to look like?
It's going to look like this. The last two games, it's going to come down to them either in the playoffs or out of the playoffs. That's just bottom line. I mean, we talked about Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, solid football team. I don't even think Tua is on Baker's level as being on a football team. I mean, they got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of people. I like McDaniels. I like the way he runs an offense. But, man, I can't get past the fact that they only won one game last year against a team that was better than 500. They're just beating dogs.
Facts.
They just beat dogs. They're a dog team, man. And that's the Miami Dolphins. They're just average. But people want to talk about them because they got Tyreek Hill and Tua went to Alabama, but I don't have much more to say about them.
It'll be a weak division.
Miami Dolphins, look, when it comes to Miami Dolphins, we can go back 2019 or 2020. They should have picked Justin Herbert or whatever. I don't think Tua is all that great of a quarterback. I think he's inaccurate at times. He can't play in cold weather. We've already seen that before. But look, it's easy and simple for the Dolphins. They're gonna be the same record they had last year. What 9-8, 10-7. Like, they're barely gonna make it. They're gonna beat They're gonna beat maybe my. They're probably gonna beat my Patriots twice. They're gonna beat my Patriots twice, probably in the division, which I won't be surprised. And beat bad teams and
Whoa. They're gonna beat the Patriots twice?
We can't figure it out. Yeah.
But the Jets aren't? Miami's not better than the Jets.
We hadn't figured it out. That's what the facts say. We ain't figured it out. We ain't beat the Dolphins in 3 years. No, we beat them last year, but before that, it's been 3 years since we beat the Miami Dolphins.
Dude, you shouldn't be in the business of beating anybody. First pick in the draft is what you're aiming for. 1-16 is your goal.
That we can't be worse than that. We were 4-13. We're not going to be any worse than 4-13. We'll improve by 4 games.
You improve by what?
4 games. Go from 4-13 to 8-9.
Hold on. I got to go get my wallet. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it's in my pocket.
Uh-oh. What do you got in your pocket? Is that cash money? Or is that a black card? What is that?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Huh.
We already got a bet on this.
American Express.
Call your number. Call your number. Call your number.
We already have a bet.
I'll bet on what? On what?
We already have a bet. We already had a bet on the top 5 pick. It doesn't matter what record they have, as long as we don't pick in the top 5. It doesn't matter.
You said you're gonna win 8 games. I got my wallet on your 8 games.
Whatever game is out the top 5, it doesn't matter. Whatever game is out the top 5 draft pick.
So you can just go out. You can go on here and spit blasphemy saying you're going to win 8 games because if you lose, you just lose.
No, because we already bet on it. I mean, as long as we're not picking the top 5, that's all that matters to me. As long as we're not picking the top 5.
But you just said you're going to win 8 games.
That's a prediction. We don't win 8 games as long as it's not in the top 5. That's what I'm focused on. As long as
I got this black thing saying you're not going to win 8 games.
We already have a bet. I'm taking that $2K and I'm taking it home plus the $200 for both Jets games and $100 for the Bengals game, and $100 for the Patriots having a better record than the Commanders. The bets are already set in stone.
It's
already set. It's already been set. Move on. It's been set.
The Patriots are going to win 8 games.
It's out the top 5. As long as we're not picking the top 5.
The Patriots are going to win 8 games.
You speak English, right? I ain't stutter.
It's gonna end ugly, man. Ariana Grande is a fan of the Seattle Seahawks. Ariana Grande. Are you a fan of Ariana Grande?
We haven't even got to the. Wait till we get to the Patriots. Wait, just wait.
Ariana Grande is a huge fan of the Seattle Seahawks.
Good.
Cowboys hater. How do you feel about Ariana Grande being a huge Seattle Seahawks fan? Does Ariana Grande need a cheeseburger?
She probably does. I think the Seattle Seahawks are a great organization. Mac McDonald's the new head coach. They still got Geno Smith. Look, the NFC West is going to be very, very tough. The defense is going to be better than it was last couple of years. Obviously, it's not the Legion of Boom defense. Do not be surprised if Seattle is a playoff team in a wild card. They will probably be 3rd in the division along with the Rams and the 49ers. I like what the Seahawks are bringing, still having Geno Smith. They will be a playoff team. They'll be 6th or 7th in the NFC. Man,
how many games are they going to win?
9-8.
And the Patriots are going to have how many?
8 games. 8-9.
Okay. All right.
All right, we're going to finish off these 2, and then we're done. The Jaguars and the Steelers. We will get to the Patriots later. Jaguars and the Steelers. Man from Seoul.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about the Jags and the Steelers?
Jags are at a crossroads. Either they're going to sink or they're going to swim.
Mike Tyson is a Jags fan, and Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. is a Steelers fan. So the Jacksonville Jaguars and Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. Jaguars can go and win the division, or the Jaguars can actually finish last. Dude, that division's up in the air. I don't think anyone in America can call that division. You can't, because I mean, there's too many things that could happen. I mean, as much as I don't like the Tennessee Titans, they're solid. They could win the thing. They could win the whole thing with Will Levis having a good year, or Shane Steichen can get the quarterback in Florida. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. And again, I'm not on Houston. I think the defensive coordinators figure out it's gonna be a close race to the end. And again, when you're talking about games that are decided on a field goal, and then you can say, "Oh man, I told you." If you hear a guy say, "Man, I told you that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to win the division," they're lying, because it's going to come down to field goals in the divisional games. It can be field goal 23-20 game. It could go either way. If the guy misses a field goal, we go to overtime, and the other team can win. I'm not. It's not cut and dry in that division. It's flip a coin. It's flip a coin.
How do you feel, Lambo, about the Jags and the Steelers?
Steelers are finishing in last place.
Well,
I didn't get to say anything about the AFC North. I'm sorry. Steelers, last place. Mike Tomlin will have a losing season.
Jags. The Jags, I mean, they might start off like last year, start off hot and then collapse. I trust the Texans, despite having one of the toughest schedules, one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. I trust the Texans more than I trust the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, we'll see how good he is in his second year with Doug Peterson, third year, whatever it is. Pittsburgh Steelers, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields wins the starting job. I would not be surprised. I'm not sure what Russell Wilson's role will be if he loses the starting job to Justin Fields, if he can be the mentor or whatever it is. Pittsburgh Steelers don't really like the roster. Traded Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers. They have George Pickens. Najee Harris, it will be Najee Harris's final year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think they're going to sign him after next year with that fifth-year option. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be last in the division. My AFC North picks are going to be between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals for that division.
Any teams that we did not talk about tonight that you would like to talk about, Paul? How about the New England Patriots?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about the New England Patriots? Is Green Bay better than the New England Patriots, or the New England Patriots better than Green Bay? And is the New England Patriots better than the Commanders, or the Commanders better than
Green Bay? Green Bay is better than the Patriots, and the Patriots are better than the Commanders.
How much money you got?
You already bet 100. You already did it.
On who?
The Patriots and Commanders, whoever has a better record. We already did it.
Wow.
Okay. I'm good.
You're good. You have nothing to say about the Patriots.
I already said what I had to say. The results are going to be on the field.
Yes, you did.
And I told you
and
so.
I'm very happy, Total Pole Nation. We have 90% of our viewers are subscribed. We got almost 8,000 views on this live stream. We love y'all, and we've had a great time. Peace out, brother.